What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Gentlemen of the Corax. This will be a really fun episode. Today, we will be ranking the United states based on the fossils that can be found there. So we can decide these mostly based off of vibes, but some of those vibes could include what kinds of fossils can be found there, abundance, the quality of them, the unique preservations of them. And I don't know, guys, do you think that we should also include things like accessibility for these fossils and being
As,
able to hunt them or just them being there?
as
Yeah,
a
I think an actually well explored and accessible fossil site is worth 10. Like this is the next Burgess Shale, and like there was one paper about it from the 1980s.
What do you guys think?
I think accessibility. You have two things to consider: accessibility for pros and accessibility for amateurs. And pro accessibility, yeah, makes sense. We should consider that. But I think low key, all of them are going to be accessible unless they're overgrown to pros. In terms of accessibility to amateurs, we can use that as a tiebreaker. I think.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things that I noticed when constructing this list, so we have all 50 states here that are going to be represented, and there's going to be a lot of states that have similar types of marine faunas, for example, or terrestrial faunas. They might have similar age ranges. So it's really going to be, I think, cutting down into like the nitty-gritty for certain places. Like the United States is so vast, it's such a big country, and there's so many states that have just a complete abundance of fossils that you might not be able to find in like entire countries elsewhere. So it really does put into perspective how massive the United States really is when you're looking at the assemblage on a grandiose scale that can be found here.
But even then, even if the U.S. wasn't that big, like just the Western U.S., a lot of the Eastern U.S. too, just in general, I think the U.S. is just gifted with its geology. Like even
That's
excluding size, like there are bigger areas that don't
I
have.
mean just look at Canada. Like American, US Front Range and Great Basin or Basin and Range geology is so much more interesting than the overwhelming amount of the geology available to even our like northern and southern neighbors.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. So we live in a great spot. Yo,
Yeah, and how we're going to be setting this up is this will be a tier list. So we'll be ranking them by that. And then at the very end, we're going to rank the S tier from best to worst, and then the F tier from best to worst to see what is the absolute best state in the US and what's the absolute worst state in the US. So without further ado, I'm going to share the tier list.
For those of you who in the audience who are fans of subjectivity and strong opinions, this will be the episode for you. This is by far our most made up on the spot episode to date.
and I think we should start from worst. We should start with like trying to decide what is the absolute worst state, so we can break someone's heart out there that's watching.
So what I'm thinking is, so we'll rank them after we get everything done. We'll start with the F tiers and then go to the S tiers so that the very best is very last for what we talk about. But how we're going to arrange these is we have these states here just in alphabetical order. So it's as unbiased as possible for that. So all of our biases come from vibes, essentially.
Mhm.
And yeah, from there, I think since we have 6 tiers and we have 50 states, we're going to have to arrange it a little bit differently. So I'm thinking that we would have, if we have 6 of these, we can have, hmm, let's see, how do we want to arrange this? We should have less states, I think, in the top and less in the bottom.
I think
No, no, we need to have a lot of states in the bottom.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't think we can have like targets for each rank to hit. I think we like each one can have as many as it needs to.
Mm,
Okay, so so
Five.
we,
Yep.
okay, just complete vibes.
Yep.
Yeah.
No rules.
So,
Okay, we'll go into this with no rules then.
No rules, only judgment.
Sounds good with me. So without further ado, Our first state is Alabama.
Dude, Alabama kind of goated. The Gulf Coast in
It's not goated. It's not as bad as you think, but it is absolutely not
I was
goated.
gonna say B or C as well.
Yeah,
It's
no,
it's one
I
of
was
the
gonna say
better states
C.
for fossils in the eastern U.S., but
Yeah.
I
dude,
mean, again, it's a bunch of Eocene stuff and a bunch of Cretaceous stuff, which is okay, but it's like it's not even amazing compared to the Cretaceous stuff like from Kansas or even Jersey. It's better than Jersey a little bit, but not by a lot.
okay, I have some things to say. Yes, obviously the Eocene stuff is there and it exists. We get Eocene stuff, those Eocene marine fossils. We're thinking point A dam type of fossils, right? Those Eocene marine fossils you'll get in places like Texas, but they're always worse. Um, the preservation in Alabama is really nice. The preservation of the Cretaceous marine fauna in Alabama is spectacular. The Utah Formation, the Moorville Chalk. And I would like to say that Alabama has an unusual propensity for spitting out dinosaurs, like bloat and float dinosaurs.
Yep.
That is one thing. There's a good record of Appalachian, well, comparably good record.
Well, I don't think all of them are even bloat and floats. I think the the southern portion of Appalachia, well, the continent Appalachia, or the landmass, not the con, extends down is actually outcropping in Alabama.
I'd
Interesting.
say
Like, I don't
B
think
with
I don't think,
reservations between as A.
yeah, Appalachiosaurus wasn't a bloat and float. That was just a terrestrial deposit.
You get stuff in the Moorville Chalk, though. Moorville Chalk is a marine deposit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there are like bloat and float notosaurs, but like,
No,
um,
like Hadrosaurs.
but yeah, and like it is good, but like it's unknown because like what the outcrops they do have put out good stuff, but there just aren't that many outcrops, you know?
So
Like
the
so low on
preservation
accessibility.
the preservation in like the Moorville chalk is very nice, but like the Utah formation, for example, like it's still nice too, but once you compare it to any of the more Western Cretaceous sites, I don't think that it's comparable.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Cretaceous is as good, and it's
That's
also not
too little
as
too late.
diverse.
I
Well,
will.
okay, so in Alabama's favor, having your state fossil being Basilosaurus is really cool. Like that's a damn good state fossil.
I will very confidently and proudly say that Alabama has far and away the best Mesozoic record east of the Mississippi. Better than Mississippi itself, I would say.
Yeah. New Jersey, but
Probably, yeah.
No, better than New Jersey. You cannot say that New Jersey is better than Alabama. Like I will fight you.
oh, I was just thinking of something else that would be comparable. And yeah, it is better than New Jersey, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I'm okay with B. I'm okay with B.
C, no, I think C. I think C. I don't think
Well, so Alabama does
I would
have
say
a nice
B, if only for the
Paleozoic.
fact that we're going to have a lot of eastern states on here, and they're going to be probably mostly lower.
okay. B for I mean I wanted C or D, but like
We can
I
move them
would be
around, I suppose.
comfortable. I would be comfortable with either. I mean, there is nice Paleozoic stuff too in Alabama, so that's going forward as well. Um, I would say B is fair.
okay. Okay, three Bs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the next state would be Alaska.
Wait, I would say C or D on that, just because I mean, yeah, it has, Cretaceous rock and stuff, but it's just so little comes out of that. A lot of it's prospecting. I mean, it could
Well, no,
produce.
so little comes out of Alaska because it's inaccessible.
That's what I
Because
mean. There's just
Alaska.
not very much prospecting going on.
Yeah, you can't get around the state
Well,
without
it's like, and you can only do field work 3 months out of the year.
yeah. Yeah, I mean like all that I Alaska simply because of its size and its geologic complexity preserves a lot of different times. It's got fossils, like notable fossils from like Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. That's cool. It's got good ichthyosaurs. It's got it's got a late Cretaceous biota. It's got probably the best Ice Age record.
Yeah.
Um, so the problem is its accessibility and difficulty to work.
I
So
think I think any state that is regularly spitting out ice age mummies is automatically in the top half
well, it's
of
only Alaska. Yeah, yeah. I think Alaska's probably B too. And see that's the thing. I think Alaska's better than Alabama, so which is why I don't want Alabama to be.
Okay, we've made some changes to the tier setting. In order to encourage a shouting match and not just randomly dumping things, we've decided that S is going to be 5 states. All the other tiers are going to be 9. That's a hard cap, so there's going to have to be some rearranging towards the end of the video, I'm sure. That's the only
Yep.
update.
Yep. Sounds good with me. So with that said, we're on Alaska right now. So do we think that Alaska deserves B tier? Because
I think B for Alaska is good.
I
I say
think
C just because, I mean, it's one big like potential box, as in
Yeah.
like anything could be here. But are we going to see it? Well, probably not.
well, here's the thing. If you were in Alaska, you could see it. So this is, I think, from the perspective of like, if I'm
I
gonna
mean, like Cole pointed out, even if you're in Alaska, you probably can't because it takes forever to get anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, no, I mean, like it's like you need a helicopter. Like just getting like the highways in Alaska, some of them aren't even paved.
dude, there's a guy on the fossil
They're
forum.
hundreds of miles.
There's a guy on the fossil forum whose trip reports I follow, and he just gets in his little biplane. Not a biplane, but what are those floating planes
Yeah,
again?
seaplane. Yeah.
Those things. And he just flies around in Alaska hunting fossils, and it's incredible. He hunts Cretaceous stuff.
Ah, yes, the common man's biplane.
True. But here's the thing. I just think that any state that has like literal mammoth mummies and
Yeah. Bar none, best ice age record in any of the states. So like that alone, I think is B. Plus it's got good dinosaurs.
a
And it's got good Mesozoic. From
a
all parts of the Mesozoic.
I
Or-
can't do A on it. I would
No,
do
no.
C.
Yeah, I think B.
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate.
B.
I think C because I think we're going to have more Bs.
no B.
I think Alaska's better than Alabama. Like, come on.
Alaska is better than Alabama, dude. My head's gonna explode. It occurred to me in a dream that Alaska should be in.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going to happen? I am going to say that if it's heads, if the coin is heads, Alabama stays in B, Alaska's in C. If it's tails,
But it was already tails, so like then it's more likely to flip heads.
No,
I'm kidding.
That's not how math works.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
so if it's tails, Alaska is B and Alabama C. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they should both be in B, personally.
Yeah.
It's heads. So Alaska is in C and Alabama stays in B.
This is preposterous, and we're only 2 states in. Off the
Yeah,
bat,
this is that is crazy.
Okay, so our next state is Arizona, which I think is easily an A tier.
Oh, I thought
As much as I'm an Arizona person, I don't know if I could say S, but it does have a lot going
It's
for it.
not S.
not
No,
dude,
it's
We're
there is
capping
no-
at 5, it's not S.
There is no way you were saying Arizona is better than. Well, actually, there is a way you're saying Arizona is better than Alaska.
Yes, there is.
Dude,
So we have in the Chinle Formation alone, the Petrified National Forest.
Yeah,
You have the
Chinle, I forgot
Placerius
about Chinle.
Deathbed. You have all of those phytosaurs and metaposaurs at
Chinley's half in New Mexico. A lot of the best bone beds are in New Mexico.
and
Placerius one is in Arizona, though.
dude, the Chinle has equivalents in Texas, the Dockham, that are like just as good. So
I would honestly say Texas is better than Arizona. Because on top of all the stuff that happens in Arizona, you also have like all the Cretaceous stuff in Texas. You also have like both marine and terrestrial. You have lots of carboniferous stuff. Yes, I know there's carboniferous stuff in Arizona, but like, it's really extensive in Texas. You get like all the mammal stuff you get over towards the western end of the state. You have, the Guadalupe Mountains.
yeah, Russell,
So-
amazing, good man. Texas is goated. The reason I brought up Texas is because I'm saying that like Arizona, what does it have that's like unique to itself? And
Dilophosaurus in the early Jurassic,
Yep.
the early Jurassic Kayenta stuff. I mean, you can say it's
Some
in
of that's in Utah,
but like,
yeah.
but like the Dilophosaurus are found in Arizona.
Arizona source.
Arizona, you have what?
Arizona source is a really cool animal.
Yeah, you have the Moenkopi Formation, which is really cool. So that's an earlier Triassic fauna.
Russell, is there any Paleogene or Neogene stuff that's not Pleistocene in Arizona?
There's
I'm sure
some. There's like
is
some
there any
Oriodonts
goods?
down in the southern part of the state or something. Let me double check the strat map. It may be in New Mexico.
So there are Oriodonts in Arizona. There,
Oh, I'm sure.
there's a lot of Pleistocene stuff, which is what I think Arizona's most known for, like the 111 Ranch stuff outside of the Triassic material. There's the Kaibab limestone, which is loaded like 50 plus chondrichthyan taxa. Same deal with the
Oh wow,
Pennsylvania.
there's almost no Miocene and Oligocene stuff. It's like a little tiny patch near Yuma, a few patches near Tucson, and then a few patches near the border.
So there's the Chalk Canyon Formation, which is Miocene. There's I think a camelid tooth that was found in
A
that on a
tooth?
trip that I was in.
A
But
tooth? Okay.
but okay, so in Arizona, we also have the Devonian Lagerstadt around the Payson area that has all of those the Asterolepis fossils, which are pretty cool. We have Cretaceous. We
Yeah,
have
but several states
Cretaceous.
have those.
What?
Several states have anti-arc bone beds. There's one in Pennsylvania. I'm trying to remember. There's another one that's I think further south. I don't know if it's in Pennsylvania or if it's in. I don't know exactly where it is. And then there's I know of some others from other states.
And
Here.
you're also forgetting the fossiliferous Grand Canyon that is from the Cambrian all the way up to the Permian, with only like the Silurian and most of the Ordovician just cut out.
Yeah, but okay, pause. Pause. You're saying it's interesting, yeah, because it's a canyon. Second biggest canyon in the US is in Texas, and we have cooler stuff in that canyon.
They're
So
saying Texas is second.
so here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. I think in order for the sake of like movement, can we agree that Arizona is better than Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's for now put Arizona in A.
Okay.
However, I am kicking that out first chance I get once this gets competitive. But
Okay.
now A. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Arizona is
I think Arizona should be in B, but definitely better than like Arizona should be in B, and it's better than Bama, so Bama should be in C. Same thing with
No,
Alaska.
no, there's no way any sane man is putting Bama in the bottom half. That's bonkers. That's
Well, no,
insane.
Arizona's just more unique.
I just think that we need to have like a lot of things in the bottom. Because
Yeah,
I think
it,
the power gap between the top of C and the top of B and the bottom of B, as we have it, is going to be much, much higher than the power gap between the top of, or sorry, the power gap between the top of B and the bottom of B is going to be much, much higher than the top of B or the bottom of B and the top of C, if that makes sense.
I understand. I understand. What do we got next? We got Arkansas.
I'd
Yeah.
say D.
Yeah, it's got a dinosaur. It's kind of cool. It's got an ornithomimid, but like,
There's supposedly some of
yeah, who
the
cares?
Trinity group extends into Arkansas. That's just not very well prospected compared to
No.
the state of
My
Texas.
maternal side of the family is from Arkansas, and they found a mastodon like a mile away in a ditch right from where my grandparents live, which is kind of cool. But
Here's the thing. Arkansas, what I know, yeah, I'm a mosasaur specialist, but what I know about from Arkansas might be biased for that reason. However, the southwestern part of the state, you get the Marlbrook Marl and the Ozan Formation. Ozan Formation is kind of just like the most slept on, underrated Campanian marine formation in the entire US. It's full of mosasaurs and cool stuff. However, the Ozan and the Marlbrook and all of that outcrops in southwest Arkansas and keeps, spitting out these mosasaurs and other things, it's way more dominant in Texas. Those formations occur with way higher frequency in Texas than in Arkansas. So, as cool as those formations are, and that does absolutely give Arkansas some points over other states that don't have something like that, it is not unique to Arkansas. So, Arkansas does lose points for not having unique factors.
Arkansas also supposedly has some Eocene rocks that haven't, they've been prospected a bit, but not a lot. And also in the northern part of the state, apparently it's produced some good carboniferous marine vertebrates. Again, that's why I say D in that, like, it has a fossil record. It's just not a very well collected fossil record.
I
Because,
agree.
like,
I think an interesting point that I kind of want to bring up now is that a lot of these states have like a lot like I think Texas is going to be like the main one with this is that it's got a lot of people living in it that have nothing who some of them obviously like fossil and have nothing else to do, so it's going to be prospected very heavily, and that's going to have a lot strong influence on the actual like how good we understand the state's fossils to be.
Nah, cause and effect, because a lot of people won't be doing it if it's not worth their time.
I guess. Well, it's like in Arkansas. Arkansas doesn't have a natural history museum pretty much. They kind of have a university one, but like they're one of the few states in the union that doesn't really have a natural history museum. Like most of the stuff that goes there, I think goes to the
Right.
museum in Memphis, if anything.
A lot of it too has to do with the laws regarding collection of fossils within the state. Like, for example, Arizona, regardless of what you think of it, they do have a lot of stuff, but there's very few collectors. And the reason is because most of that stuff is stuck on reservation land, for example, like all of the Manco stuff that's in the northern part of the state. You can't collect there. There's a ton of national forest stuff you can't collect there. You can't collect on the state land, so there's very little people can actually touch.
That's
So that
true. But I mean,
influences.
most of the Eastern US stuff, you can collect more there because it's more available, but again, the stuff that you get there is just not amazing.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going to
So
find
like
many
like
ammonites
like
in the
if,
East.
if a state is full of people and there's still nothing good coming out of there, like I don't think you can say this it's too unexplored to say.
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
a point that is a point that a
Well, the only
new
reason with Arkansas is I think just the will isn't there in the sense that like there's no like paleontologists are not going to Arkansas to prospect. Royal Mapes went there and found a bunch of stuff in Arkansas, but like again, he was kind of the exception. And again, that's what I'm saying. Like compared to some of these other things we're going to be talking about, I would say D
Yeah,
because like some of these things have no
Yeah, but I
fossils
mean
at all. Period.
think of like people in like Maryland soy jacking over a handful of Carcharocles teeth,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
like throwing an Acrocanthosaurus in their museum um
Mm,
uh over nothing,
My thing with Arkansas is they it is a good state for fossils. There's a ton of Paleozoic especially, but it doesn't do anything better, I think, than other states.
correct. That's
Like
that.
it's just kind of
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Other
yeah. Oh,
places.
I mean, like Arkansas is D. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like I think these are some points to keep in mind moving forward.
yeah. And here's the thing: like, just because states go into D or F tier, I mean, some of the states in F tier do genuinely suck, but the U.S. is such a geologically remarkable country that even in the lower tier states, there is still a lot to be found. It's just the level of competition is so high because some of them are just like the shining beacons of fossiliferous rock in the world that,
I mean, if you want really bad, you could think about like Sweden or Finland, where the entire country is basically Precambrian due to the glaciers scraping everything away.
Yeah.
Like that's like
Ah,
paleontologist
you got
hell.
some of that here. You got Michigan.
Sweden
Michigan's got a lot of Ordovician stuff.
Sweden has the Kristianstad Basin. That's Cretaceous, but yeah, it's pretty bad. I agree.
So our
Um,
next state is California.
Probably A-ish, maybe B.
I would be comfortable with A on it because they
Yeah.
are super diverse. Like in this
Yep.
state, you can go from finding these really nice Cambrian trilobites all the way to the Shark-Tooth Hill bone beds where you can find these fire zone colored
Yeah.
shark
Yeah,
fossils.
La
There's
Brea.
dinosaurs, there's
Yeah.
orionauts, there's a lot of stuff. There's one of the few
Oh,
Irvingtonian
like
sites in the US is in California. At least I think it's Irvingtonian. I don't know
and
what the latest dating
the
is.
most the most important like place in the world for walrus paleontology of all things is actually in Orange County. Then you get the Merino Formation out in the valley where you're getting a lot of interesting Maastrichtian fossils. I don't know why it's not so explored. I think it's just because paleontology as a job is extremely difficult to do in California. I like
Well,
yeah,
I know a guy, he's a
I think
mitigation
it is
specialist.
really
He's a
explored. I think it's really explored. It's just not great. And the
Well,
little
the
bit
problem
you're
is
seeing is from
California,
so many people
California's
pouring over.
geology is messed up because so much of that stuff is accreted exotic
Yeah,
terrains.
yeah.
And so the geology is just a pain to work with. It's Oregon and Washington are kind of the same way. And so is like West Virginia. Like I've had geologists tell like I've tried to get geologists to look into stuff in West Virginia. They're like, I would rather not just because the stratigraphy there is so twisted and folded. Like I'd rather go to the northern Appalachians where things are a bit more cut and dry.
Hmm.
fair enough. But
Also, interestingly, in California, in the northern part of the state, you can find these Cenozoic deep water deposits where you can find things like chlamydosalacid teeth, so like frill shark teeth. You can find these deep sea squaliform teeth over there, which is not something that you can regularly find in most U.S. states.
yeah, and in the South. I mean, megalodon shows up
Is
everywhere.
it better or worse than Arizona?
I would
It's
say it's around tied.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if you like the Chinley better than Cenozoic stuff.
Are y'all able to hear me, by the way? I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I'm muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Yeah, in the South too, around near San Diego and stuff, all the Eocene and then Miocene fossils that show up, like the megalodon, the Stridolaemia and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a great state. There needs to be more work done in the middle of it, but yeah, I think it's as good as Arizona in my mind.
I would put it at A.
I
Yeah.
kind of wonder too if like kind of going back to what Cole said, the reason why some of these states get better or worse prospected is it kind of goes back to the vibes thing of like a lot of these paleontologists, they want to go somewhere exotic to prospect just for being able to say they go somewhere exotic. I've had paleontologists actually tell me this they've said I prefer to collect in X rather than Y because X, even though it's a foreign country, doesn't feel exotic enough.
Yeah. I mean, the La Brea tar pits are
Oh
a
yeah, I
class
totally forgot about La
fossil
Brea.
site, but
Yeah.
it's not exotic because it's by LA, so
In LA,
yeah.
yeah.
LA's
So
pretty
like you
fun.
get people in LA who, but they'd rather prefer to go to like Wyoming to do their field work.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm happy with an A on that.
Good job, California.
Now we have Colorado.
Yes.
Colorado's a heavy hitter.
Yes.
Colorado is a heavy hitter. Some things to think of off the bat. You know where the holotype of Triceratops is found? I'm pretty sure on the northern side.
It's Wyoming.
Yeah, it's Wyoming.
Actually,
It's
no,
not
there's a
Colorado.
horn of it. I think I think the holotype of Ceratops is from Colorado, but I think I have to look this up. I want to say Triceratops is Wyoming. It may
Uh,
not be.
okay.
I'm almost certain that's correct. Like,
The point is that that traditional Lancian fauna can be found in Colorado in surprising places. I'm pretty sure there was a T-Rex found during like a suburb excavation or something insane.
no,
Um,
okay. Colorado Rockies, the baseball team, their mascot is a Triceratops because they found ceratopsian material from the Maastrichtian
Okay,
Lake
yeah,
while
that's
they were
it.
digging the
The
stadium.
first specimen is a pair of brow horns from Colorado, but the actual holotype is from the Lance Formation of Wyoming.
and you know what? Actually, the Denver Museum the other day when they were expanding their parking lot ran into some dinosaur bones too. Like it's pretty cool. But then outside of the dinosaur realm, Colorado is really
Well, I
nice.
mean, hold on. Back in the dinosaur realm, Colorado was ground zero for Morris and Bone War stuff.
Oh, true.
Well,
Two of
Wyoming
the
was more
three
ground
original.
zero because they actually they over the freeze out mountains. There's a lot of slap fighting. So the reason why Colorado is so good in terms of the Bone Wars is more because the railroad happened to go through Furita.
Right. Well, sure. But like two of the three like major original finds that people started writing the Martian Cope about were in Colorado. Canyon
Right.
City, yeah, Canyon City with Orma Lucas and Arthur Lakes in Morrison, Colorado. And the third
But
is in
also part of it, they're part of the reason why the Field Museum started collecting in the Morrison, Colorado, was to collect
yeah,
away from Marsh and Cope
interesting.
because they were squabbling over
Holotype
like
for my got Moors in Colorado. The holotype of Brachiosaurus, the first Brachiosaurus. Now, the first and only
the first decent
semi-decent
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus is in Colorado, near Grand Junction. Fruitopaleontological area, the only Morrison microvertebrate site is in Colorado. Um, Canyon City, Amphicelius, excuse me, Meropunosaurus, potentially one of the largest dinosaurs to ever exist. The mythological, dorsal vertebra that Cope found, Colorado. Holotype of Allosaurus, Stegosaurus, Diplodocus, Colorado.
Theophyta-
Colorado.
Theophytalia comes from the Garden of the Gods, which is
Yep.
crazy. Like, of all places.
I grew up right next to there. Yeah, I saw it. That was one of the first little museum experiences I had as a high schooler where I got to see the original bones.
Sick. Yeah, Colorado is just beautiful. And then even outside the dinosaur realm, you get those
Yeah.
Paleocene animals that Tyler Leeson has been getting into, and those concretions. Then you get things like the fluorescent fossil beds.
Yep,
Then
one of the best insect records of the Phanerozoic.
yes, exactly. And then out east, you get really good, nice Cretaceous marine stuff as well. So Colorado, due to its diversity and its abundance, and also just its vibes, because it's beautiful and just Western and cool, I definitely say it goes in S.
Yeah, agreed.
I would be
Probably
comfortable.
bottom of the S, but definitely S.
I agree. Bottom of S as well. Once we start ranking them, but yeah.
Now we have Connecticut, which I think is the opposite of Colorado.
F.
God.
C or D, it's got some dinosaur fossils.
Yeah, so you can find Coelophysis there. They've found some phytosaur material because they have some Triassic exposures. They
It's
also
a
have
very
theropod.
narrow strip that runs. It's not super wide. It's like maybe a fourth the width of the state that runs down the middle of it. That goes into to Massachusetts. It's part of the whole Newark Basin stuff.
Yeah, yeah, they
But
have
F.
the New Haven Arcos, and they've found like reptile skulls and things like that. But it's not something that compares to anything that's been
And,
listed.
and, and again, huge amounts of people sitting around the entire state just happen to come across it. Like just having huge amounts of people just living near these outcrops is going to mean that you're going to get lots of these scrappy nothings
Well, but
from
it's
what.
also a huge amount of people and a lot of private land, and people aren't going to go prospecting on land they think they're going to get shot on. It's
Uh,
like if you're in Colorado, you can walk around BLM land all day and no one's gonna hassle you for it. Versus Connecticut, where you have to get permission from every single landowner for that. It's probably one of those populated states in the union.
Yeah. Um,
I would
well,
say
like, so okay, is so I mean earlier people were like prospecting on national forest is hard, but now prospecting on public land is easy. Prospecting on private land is hard. So which one is it? Moving forward for a consistent criteria.
I think
I think that it's hard in different ways.
I
Right.
think here's the thing. Here's the thing. Every single state has different fossil hunting laws that are each to their own. And if we want to get into the nitty gritty of like states, states' local laws, this podcast is going to take freaking forever. But enough of us are acquainted enough with collecting culture around the U.S. to know that, like, yeah, people can find fossils in Connecticut, and they go and do. So, um, yeah, the legality stuff, it's just like it's just gonna be boring too.
Well, the
Right.
other thing too is a lot of these New England stuff, they only really find bones if they're actually excavating down for something. Like Podokesaurus, I think was like that. I think also Allosaurus was also like that. And I think just they're not chopping off the heads of entire mountains like they do in some other places to I
Yeah.
think the other thing too is if they find something, are the people going to actually take that to a museum or are they just going to pretend they didn't see it and keep bulldozing?
Uh-huh. Well, here's the thing. It That's not as common as you think. Like in Texas, legally, you're not like no one's making you say, "Oh, you found fossils, you have to stop your construction now." So sure, a lot of fossils get blown through, but a lot of holotypes are found in construction sites because people nevertheless, out of the goodness of their heart, do reach out. Like construction companies and stuff do reach out. So it's not as much of a problem as you think, even though it is a problem. Just the whole construction thing and ignoring it.
So I would say because it does have a nice Triassic lager shot, like some of the fish that they find in Connecticut too are really nice. I would have it as a soft D and see
Soft
what
D.
states have nothing and then go from there.
Oh,
I
and
agree.
look at what's next.
Yeah.
Yeah. So D is
Okay.
good.
D for Connecticut.
All right. So our next
F.
state is Delaware, which is basically a New Jersey wannabe, I think. It does New Jersey stuff like the late Cretaceous stuff, but not as good.
I think it
Yeah.
has like one dinosaur fragment.
Yeah.
F.
I'm assuming some coastal, like, Miocene shark teeth or whatever, but yeah, F.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have that?
Where
I mean,
is
honestly, well, looking at this, I think pretty much almost the entire state is Pleistocene, and then there's like a tiny, tiny smidge of Cretaceous and Miocene in the northern part of the state, and that's literally the only thing that's not either Precambrian or Pleistocene alluvium.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
F.
fine with F on that.
Yep. Let's keep moving. There are a lot of states actually. 50 of them I hear. Florida, kind of
A.
underrated. It's good. No, nothing except for Cenozoic. Pretty good Cenozoic though.
And that's underselling it. Florida is probably the most fossil-rich state in the eastern U.S. to the point that people just like are tripping over fossils left and right. It has an amazingly good Cenozoic mammal record that's better than almost any state east of the Mississippi. Good marine fossils. The only thing that really holds it back is the fact that its fossil record beyond the Eocene is limited to one turtle that was found in a borehole.
It
And
should be noted too, though, that with the Cenozoic teeth, that they are arguably some of the best in the world as far as preservation and coloration. Like
Oh
if
yeah,
you
the
look at some of
quality
the
of stuff in Florida is amazing. Like you, because it's a low-lying coastal area. There's not a lot of distortion. There's not a lot of deformation. So most of the fossils there look like they came out of the ground yesterday.
Well, also like the in the Bone Valley phosphate mines, you see these incredible bright blue colored enameloid on the shark teeth and on the mammal teeth, which is incredible with these chalky white colored roots or tooth bases. You see you see greens, you see oranges, you see just phenomenal, like some of the coolest looking teeth you'll ever see from Florida.
however, I think that's mostly representative of Bone Valley because like we've all
Mhm.
seen these Florida YouTubers and these Florida guys on fossil forums that are going out diving Venice Beach or going into creeks. Most of the stuff is just black. But
Venice Beach has some nice colors too. Yeah, you'll go to if you want to like Peace River, a lot of the stuff will be like black, but if you're looking at Gainesville, for example, you have these really nice vibrant yellows and oranges and stuff. If you go to Golden Beach, there's really, really nice coloration. I think that just saying it's Bone Valley, but Bone Valley is like a pretty broad group, but anyways, I think that it's underselling it.
yeah, Florida is like to put this into perspective, there's this famous YouTuber, Paleo Chris, and he has prospecting videos where he's just driving down the road spotting megalodon teeth. He's like driving down gravel roads, and that's how he's fossil hunting through his car, just spotting meg teeth popping out of the road, which is bonkers. However, Florida does absolutely lose points because yes, its fossil record stops at the Eocene. There was also a trilobite found in a borehole, which is kind of cool. I guess that's technically their oldest fossil, but boreholes don't count in my mind. So, it
Well,
kind
it'll
of
be interesting when we get to North Dakota because
say what?
it'll be interesting when we get to North Dakota. I don't think it's going to win North Dakota any points, but North Dakota has a really interesting borehole related thing.
Huh. Okay, we'll save that for there.
I
I'm gonna
would say
say
Florida should be an A. Not it's knocked down because of the diversity, but it does
No,
what it
no,
does so
B.
good.
You can all no. If you only have Cenozoic, you can't be in the S and A.
Yeah, but Florida is the best out of like half the U.S. And it's arguably better than several Western states.
in
I
terms
would say Florida's better than Washington.
in terms of how easy it is to find fossils, Florida is the best. You can know
Is it
absolutely
more like Alabama or is it more like California?
it's better.
California. It's
Okay. Okay.
debatably the
Okay.
quality of the stuff you find is debatably better than California.
And it's the easiest, like I'm not kidding. Any random fool can walk into a creek and find fossils in Florida. That does mark big points for it. However, it does nothing unique in and of itself. Like it has no really unique I
It's
don't
got forest rockets. I think only maybe Texas also has forest.
Texas, yeah, Texas has some.
forest rockets. What's that?
Terror
Terror
bird.
birds.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Titanus is Florida.
Huh.
I think
I'm,
Florida
I'm,
is
I'm a
so
terror
much
bird
ahead of
enjoyer, so.
Alabama.
I think Florida's A, but low level A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So our next state's Georgia.
Okay, Georgia is surprising. You would think Georgia doesn't have that much, but it actually has some pretty impressive meg teeth, and they're even Cretaceous exposures, which I did not know until recently.
Yeah.
I think it has pretty excellent Pleistocene stuff too, if I recall. But
Yeah, but everything has excellent Pleistocene stuff to some degree.
no, not really. There's some states that don't even have that. But um, at least with the Cenozoic stuff, like their interesting megalodon teeth turn out green for some reason. That's something that's known in Georgia, like these green megs. But megalodon teeth are not rare, and there are other states that do it better. So, as cool as Georgia is, with my limited knowledge of what you're getting in Georgia, it's probably a C tier state.
Yeah, so the Paleozoic rocks in Georgia have been so twisted and folded up by the formation of Appalachians that there's almost no fossils in them.
Okay.
I remember we were supposed to do a review of the Paleozoic fossils in Georgia or in the Appalachians, and like there was nothing from Georgia. Like I think Cam Muskelly found like one shark tooth recently, but again, that's even hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Cam's got an uphill battle trying to established paleontology in Georgia like he is. Um,
Georgia does
yeah,
have
I
a,
think it's C or D for Georgia.
I would be fine
D.
with
The
I'm fine with C. It has amazing meg teeth, but
It's way worse than Alaska, but it's like way better than. But it's that's kind of the problem we're getting into with this format is that like the ranking system that we're using S A B C this tier list thing is that the tiers are supposed to have everything in the tier has more in common with each other than they do with the other tiers. And how we're doing this and the parameters that we're using, like again, the top of C tier is going to have more in common with the bottom of B tier than the bottom of B tier has with the top of B tier, you
We
know?
can
well, if
rank.
you're ranking anything, it's gonna end up shaking out kind of like that because
Yeah.
you're building a hierarchy of
Well,
something.
that's why these are tiers. They're I mean it's built around video game. It's this like this is from Smash Brothers, I think. Is what this ranking comes from is that like it's how good each character is to use, and the bottom of the tier is still going to be much better than the top of the next lowest tier. That's what this system is designed to do.
I think C is comparable to Alaska, not in that it's less diverse, but it's more accessible, so it kind of washes out, and it's definitely more abundant.
Okay.
We
Does
can.
everyone else agree
We
with C?
can.
Yeah,
I think our discussions, like the points of this video, is the discussion, so people can at least hear like who is going what for it, and so that's why it's like okay,
Right.
right.
they're not just gonna have to go off the final rankings.
Yeah. I want people arguing in the comment section. I want the most toxic comment section ever. Bring it
Yeah,
on.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So our next F tier is Hawaii. So
Yeah,
if you want
Yeah.
to find a Pleistocene tiger shark and porcupine fish teeth, you might love this state, but other than
and
that,
serrated duck fossils. But I mean, again, that's like pre-human Holocene, basically.
yeah. So I'm pretty confident that that's an F tier state. What do you guys think?
Okay, wait. Um, ah, there's one interesting thing about Hawaii. Yes.
No. Okay. Say
Okay,
it.
wait,
Say it. Yeah.
wait. It is. Where is Grant County? Blue Lake and Grant County. Is that Hawaii? I don't think so. Blue Lake, Grant County. I think this is Hawaii. Let's find on. Oh, it's in Washington. Ah, never mind. So I'll have to save this little tidbit for Washington. I thought it was Hawaii. Okay, yeah, Hawaii is absolutely F tier. Probably one of the worst. If it's not 50th place, it's probably like 49th, 48th.
Yeah, it
Sorry.
turns out volcanic rocks that formed a million years ago aren't actually great for fossil preservation. Next, Idaho, Western state, should be good, actually kind of bad.
Yeah.
I would say it's like a B tier.
Yeah.
So it's not good if you like dinosaurs, but it's got some of the best Helicoprion fossils out there.
Yeah,
It
which is
does
cool. But like that's the one thing is that the
wait. It's got some decent Middle Cretaceous fossils that are getting more prospected. Oryctodromius is from Idaho. It's also got some pretty good Cenozoic stuff, especially the Pleistocene around Hagerman fossil beds.
Here's the thing. Idaho, I think we can agree, is probably the worst state west of the Mississippi. But west of the Mississippi is pretty exceptional, just in
Yeah.
general. So,
well, I think it should lose points for being so like uniquely bad given its geography. Like
yeah, I hate Idaho just because I just don't like it.
yeah.
I think Idaho is
I think the thing is that like
maybe D.
most of Idaho looks like it's Cenozoic in some way, but
If
I'm trying to
Idaho
figure out
has
exactly what part of Cenozoic. Because I mean, again, the Yellowstone supervolcano ripped out half like the bottom part of the state to make the Snake River Valley, and the question is that like how old is the sediment down there? Is that all like redeposited in the Pleistocene, or is that like older in the Neogene?
I don't know.
Uh,
It I think it's either like the highest ranking D or a low C.
I think
yeah, it's
C.
almost all like Miocene and Pliocene through Idaho, and then there's that Cretaceous stuff.
I
I'd
think
say
C.
high C because it has fossils. It's known in some ways for fossils with Hagerman and such, and for Rictodromius and Helicoprion.
I think Helicoprion saves it from being an F. I would be fine with C or D.
Okay.
Let's go
I'd say it's better than Arkansas and Connecticut. Like
All right,
you
now
can
let's
make a museum around around Idaho fossils. You can't really make one around Connecticut fossils, except for like, you Dilophosaur tracks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with C then.
Yeah, let's do C. It's a low C, low ranking C.
Yeah. Our next state is Illinois.
Trash! Illinois,
Illinois is not trash, actually. There's
dude.
Mason Creek.
You're that's it.
Mason
No,
Creek
it's
is the
not
only thing that
it.
really saves it.
So there's Mason Creek. There's also the black shales that are Pennsylvanian that
What?
have these complete chondrichthyans as well. You have abundant Odestus. I mean, there's no complete Odestus that we know of yet, but
All
you
right,
still
Ben.
have
Not
these great
everybody
tooth whorls.
over shark's teeth, but over Paleozoic shark teeth or Paleozoic chondrichthyan teeth.
I think Illinois is where they found that like half of an Erotus specimen.
That's Indiana. That's the Mecca Quarry.
That's the
Get
Mecca. I thought
get
Illinois has something like that too.
get owned, dude. Okay, for context to the listeners, I recently drove up to South Dakota with Ben and my friend Graham, and we were discussing this. And I was a hater on Illinois from the beginning, and somehow in our final ranking, I think it made like the top 15, all because of Ben. This is very nice to hear. Some people siding with me because Illinois has Mason Creek. That's it. There are many states that have a good Lagerstadt that are
There, I think there's one possible Permian site that's gotten destroyed by the Mississippi River, and there's a few other decent Carboniferous sites that there's a guy, I'm trying to remember what his name is. Crud, it's on tip of my tongue. I met him and uh,
the Paleozoic stuff is good. Like I think
yeah.
that saves it from F tier. It probably saves it from D tier. I would say Illinois is a C tier state.
So
It's
you
that's good,
think that the Mason Creek should belong with Georgia and Alaska?
dude. If you are
With
finding,
Alaska, yes. I'm still like shocked you guys think so lowly of the
dude,
last frontier, but
yeah, I'm shocked that Alaska is in C, dude. I'm Look, if you're gonna say permafrost mummies are a C tier kind of thing, then the little smudges in concretions at Mason Creek deserve to be way lower, like low
yeah,
end.
remember we gave Florida A tier for having good Cenozoic fossils, but Alaska has better Cenozoic fossils and it's in C
Yeah, but
tier.
they're all Pleistocene.
Okay. Have you considered the Pleistocene is cool?
No.
Have you
And
considered that Big Shork is cooler?
Be quiet, silence. I think we can agree for now. For now, this is not permanent. We can always argue later. I say that we put Illinois as a low end C tier.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Yay! Yay!
Now we have Indiana.
I would say also C for now. It's a little bit, I mean, it depends on if you like Mason Creek. Actually, no, wait a minute. Sorry, I forgot. Okay,
There's
there's two
Dunkleosteus
things.
from Indiana, right?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking Michigan. Never mind.
Um,
Two things I looked up right
so
now.
one of the only two non-coastal terrestrial Cenozoic fossil sites in the eastern U.S. is from Indiana. There's Gray, and then there's this one, which is the I think it's the
Oh,
Pipe
okay.
Creek
Go back to right,
sinkhole.
yeah.
It's not so the pipe. Let me double check.
I know Indiana, in terms of
Oh,
price
the
stuff, uniquely good. I know it has uniquely good opportunities for people looking for like mammoth teeth and mammoth tusks. Indiana is uniquely good, but uniquely good for the Midwest, which I feel like is
yeah,
not.
the Pipe Creek sinkhole is one of the only two basically terrestrial localities, unless you're counting Florida, which is has all the localities, and it has Teleoceras. I think there's some random bear dog teeth there, but again, it's Pliocene. It's not you know like even the fossils from it are not amazing. They're okay. It's
They do
notable
have nice
for.
Paleozoic stuff too.
Oh, and that's the other thing is the Mecha Shell quarries from Indiana. That's the one that Zane girls at the black shales that have all the complete body impressions of marine Pennsylvanian sharks. Those are the two main things. There's a nice crinoid layer that a lot of nice crinoids come out of that, but again, it's crinoids.
I
Yeah.
think it's IND.
Probably high in D. It doesn't even have the
Yeah.
productivity of like some of its neighbors.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
High ND.
So now we have Iowa.
Dude, what is in Iowa? Like,
Yeah. Ptyctodonts, tons and tons of ptyctodonts.
what,
There's one of the
What
one of
is
the
a
best.
typhodont?
yeah, what are those?
They're placoderms pretending very hard to be ratfish.
Uh,
Oh,
Pretty
Like
much,
there's
yeah.
there's so many, like 90% of the vertebrate record for the Devonian, there is some kind of ptyctodont mouth part, which is weird because the fossils are not common elsewhere. And no one really knows why. And it's not even the whole animal, it's just the mouth parts because their skeleton is so fragile.
We do have a lot of them in Arizona too. There's entire bone beds in the Martin limestone that are just tectodonts. But yeah,
But other than that, there's some amphibian material from Arizona. I think there's not sorry, why did I say Arizona? From Iowa. I'm trying to remember. There's also the earliest known Eurypterid, Wacheria is from Iowa, which it's a Mississippian thing that there's not
the
a lot of
earliest
things
known
from Mississippian, but
Eurypterid?
it's eh. What?
doesn't
The
doesn't
earliest known Eurypterid
Yeah, is from
is
Iowa. It was found inside of a meteor
is
crater.
from the Mississippian?
No, it's from the Ordovician.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a fossil amphibian from the Mississippian, but there's also let me find what the exact name is. It's like Pentacopterus.
doesn't Iowa have a tiny bit of Niobrara formation in it? I
I
mean,
think it does.
How could it not?
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the first I read this in Oceans of Kansas. First fossil ever found out of the Niobrara formation was found by the Lewis and Clark expedition in, I believe, Iowa.
No, no, it was further. It was a Xiphactinus or something
Or
like it fossil that was like in South Dakota, I think.
South Dakota? Are you sure?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, it was a saurodon or a saurocephalus, I believe.
Yeah,
And
I think that's what it was.
yeah,
It was from
I'm pretty sure it was in Iowa, if I remember correct. If I
it
read that,
could be Iowa. It could
Well,
also be.
the
It's
Lewis
by
and
the
Clark
border with South Dakota.
expedition didn't go to Iowa. I mean, they did. They just followed the river that bordered the Missouri, which borders Nebraska and Iowa.
okay, understood.
So it could be. So it was found along the Soldiers River, which let me see if any of it.
That it probably doesn't change its ranking though. Like even if it was,
Yeah,
I'm thinking
So it's right on the border between
we've been
Nebraska and
going
Iowa.
for almost an hour, and we are 15 states in.
hey,
Because most of these states have been dad.
that's better progress than I thought. I'm gonna say Iowa is F. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fine with F.
Get
Okay.
that out of here. All right, what's next? Kansas.
Kansas.
A.
A.
And I talk about Kansas. Finally, something I know a
Yes.
little bit about, dude. Okay, when you think of the record of the marine Cretaceous in the U.S. internationally, you are thinking about Kansas. Kansas, we've argued.
I'm thinking about Elasmosaurus and
Hush,
Archelon
hush, hush, hush.
and
Uh,
Mosasaurus hoffmanni.
I think what every single museum in the world probably has something from the Niobrara Formation. And in previous podcasts, we've discussed how it's pretty arguable that the Niobrara can be considered full of Lagerstadt. It has a magnificent Coniacian, Santonian, and Lower Campanian fossil record of mosasaurs and fish and turtles and plesiosaurs. Niobrara Formation, goated. But then, in addition to those, you also have the marine vertebrates from things like the Carlisle Shale and the Greenhorn Limestone and all of that. That's also outcropping in Kansas. That's Turonian in age and Cenomanian in age. So just a good Cretaceous fossil record representing the marine stuff. Paleozoic stuff, I have no idea about, which is why I'm going to rely on you guys. But for Cretaceous marine stuff, Kansas is among the best. I don't think it is the best, but it is among the best.
It's
It is
relatively.
amazing for Cretaceous. At least late Cretaceous, I think there's a little Albian too, but nothing before that. As far
Yeah.
as Paleozoic goes, it has some nice Paleozoic stuff. You can find some nice,
Meganura's from there.
yeah.
Or
But
Oh,
Meganeuropsis,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the carbon. Yeah, I mean, Meganeura's. I mean, there's like three carboniferous things everybody knows about, and one of them is Meganeura, and that's from Kansas. So
Yeah, but it's nothing that I would say is like super unique with Kansas that it has to go up higher because of the Paleozoic.
yeah,
Yeah, it does the Santonian better than any state except for probably Alabama. Alabama's quite comparable, which is why it's insane that Alabama's ranked so low. But anyway, um, yeah, I would say Kansas
top of A. Yeah,
Yeah,
is A.
above Arizona for sure.
I would definitely say Kansas is A. Now we have Kentucky.
The
D.
almost the entire state is Carboniferous rock with a little bit of with the end of the Cincinnati Arch with the Ordovician, and other than Mammoth Cave, it's just there's no one prospecting.
You can find shark teeth in caves there. Yeah, yeah, as you
You can
said.
also find more than teeth. You can find like the Meckel's cartilage too in Mammoth Cave, but again, it's not something that would beat some of the other Paleozoic stuff that we've talked about.
Mammoth Cave is a pretty famous fossil site. So any state that does have a famous fossil site does get boosted that way.
Honestly, it's even not even that. It only became famous when this stuff got reported about 10 years ago, right? Because
Maybe
before that, it was just kind of like someone had reported like a cladotus tooth, and then they kind of just buried it and forgot about it.
here's the thing. If I am aware of a Paleozoic site, then it's probably a famous site.
You're
Like,
probably aware of Paleozoic site because Ben told you about it.
no. I've known about Mammoth Cave since actually
Yeah,
pretty.
I saw an interview of the guy investigating it.
Yeah. Mammoth Cave is like pretty well known as a fossil site. So that gives it some points, but I don't think it gives it enough points to escape the D status.
Yeah,
Yeah,
top of
I'm
D,
fine with
better
D.
than Arkansas, but D.
Better than Arkansas? Yeah, I guess.
There's Meckel's cartilages from
It's
Arkansas too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say that they're the same. Actually, I would say Arkansas is better because there's
yeah.
the Cretaceous stuff too.
Yeah, there's almost not like there could be some really great Carboniferous stuff in Kentucky, but again, it's like Arkansas where there's no natural history museum and there's almost no one really working from a geological perspective.
Yeah.
There's the
Yeah.
creation.
The what?
There's the Creation Museum.
We got Louisiana next.
Yeah.
D or F.
Dude,
Yeah,
can I tell a story about Louisiana?
of
Sure.
course you can.
So, I had one of my followers actually hit me up because he found a mastodon in Louisiana and it made the news. He donated it. It was really cool. So there's a really interesting Pleistocene record in well, not interesting, but there's a good Pleistocene record in Louisiana. Also, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there Basilosaurus, which would mean there's Eocene stuff?
There is Eocene. I have some Eocene shark teeth from Louisiana.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Like,
you have Eocene shark teeth in Louisiana. You have Pleistocene shark teeth in Louisiana. The Eocene stuff is pretty interesting in that a lot of it kind of resembles some of the Eocene sharks that you'd find in like Russia, and the preservation's actually pretty similar to some of that. But I mean, outside of that, it's nothing really special.
I know Louisiana has Miocene stuff. I just don't know anything about it, but I know it's supposed to exist. Um, I'm gonna say, okay, let's make a decision. Do we like Louisiana more than Arkansas?
No.
No.
No, I think it's F.
You think
I
it's F?
think Louisiana.
I
Yeah,
think I think I like Louisiana more than. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think it's F, but it's probably the highest ranking F that we have so far.
Yeah.
The high ranking
Yeah.
F.
So we have Maine next.
F.
Maine is F, bottom F.
So Maine has some nice Paleozoic. I mean, I wouldn't even say nice, but it has Paleozoic stuff. It has, you can find some early Chondrichthyan denticles there, like Silurian, Devonian age stuff. You can find some invertebrate stuff, but
Dental.
outside of that,
I don't even
nothing.
hear about Devonian stuff really coming out of Maine.
It's like right in the Silurian Devonian boundary that they have some stuff like Gumphancus, and then they have some Thelodont scales as well.
Oh boy, Theodonts.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Maine sucks. If you live there, at least you live in a beautiful
I
place.
think the one they have some Pleistocene like marine mammals that are way inland because of how the glaciers push the land out and let the Champlain Sea come in. That's literally it. Like I
Yeah.
want to say that's their state fossils, either a beluga or a walrus.
Maine
Interesting.
might honestly are it might honestly be
Oh,
worse.
actually, no, it's a plant.
Or can we say Maine is worse than Hawaii? Is
No,
that
no, I would say that the Silurian stuff is cooler than anything you can find in Hawaii.
so? Maine right now in our heads is probably ranking like what 48, 49.
I would say
It's
49 as
higher
well.
than it's I'd say higher than Hawaii, Delaware, and Rhode Island, and that's not by like there's not much.
Who do we got next?
Our next state
Maryland.
is Maryland.
The
Maryland has some, I mean, they have the megs and things like that. They
Cal-
do have some
That's true.
interesting latest Cretaceous stuff in the Severn Formation. They also have some
Dino Park.
interesting Paleocene stuff. You can find some Paleocene sharks, which isn't the most common thing I would say in the U.S. It's not super abundant, but they do have that stuff along the Potomac River, which I find really cool. You can find like Paraorthocotus. You can find some Ototus obliquus teeth,
Here's the thing.
Paleocarcharodon.
Here's the thing about Maryland. If you gave me a plane ticket and said, "Okay, you need to use this plane ticket to go fossil hunting, but you have to go to Maryland," I'd say okay. Like Maryland has the Calvert Cliffs, which is a very famous,
Yeah.
right? You get dolphins that are articulated coming out of the Calvert Cliffs, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Calvert Cliffs is Miocene, right?
Mhm.
So you get megalodon teeth and all of that, yes. However, like Ben's points about the Severn Formation, what's cool about the Severn Formation? It has this weird little preservation that it's like it just looks different. It doesn't look like any stuff that I know. It is a little hard to hunt the Severn Formation because outcrops are rare, but when you do find a good outcrop, it's quite productive. If we're going to pull this into the mosasaur area, the one published record of carinodins in the Western Hemisphere. Well, no, not in the Western Hemisphere because you get it in Brazil, but carinodins, weird little enigmatic shell crushing mosasaur, right? In North America, the one published record of it that I'm aware of is in Maryland, out of the Severn Formation. And actually, I forgot about this. There's that dinosaur bone bed that has gone kind of big in the news that was found in Maryland recently.
Dino Park.
And Acrocanthosaurus is also found in Maryland.
Yeah, it is. It is, and they actually did manage to tie that to the Acrocanthosaurus CF, which is cool because that's like, I mean, people have been, trying every eastern state that finds Carcharodontosaur chunkosaur, theropod chunkosaur from the mid of the Cretaceous calls it Acrocanthosaurus. Maryland backed it up though. Um,
Supposedly there may also be like some kind of stem tyrannosauroid down there, like that Capitalsaurus or something.
Capitalosaurus is from DC. They found out they're excavating the DC metro.
Huh.
And again, it's like two bones.
I'm gonna
I
say
think I think Maryland is like the embodiment of C. Like if I would put it in, I would put it like dead in the center of things being better and things being worse in it.
it is not as good as Alaska, but I would say it is probably better than Georgia. It is better than Georgia. It's better than Idaho. It's better than Illinois. I'm gonna say, yeah, it's comfortably in C as well.
Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
So the next state is Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
So Massachusetts has a Carboniferous Lagerstätte. So they've found fossil whip scorpions in there. They found lots of trace fossils. But interestingly, they've reported body fossils from amphibians and early reptiles from there as well. Although I don't believe I've seen any of them figured. So I suspect a lot more work is going to be coming out of those soon. Outside of that, it's famous for the dinosaur trackways that you can find like around the Holyoke area.
It's one
That's
of the few that actually
where
has
I grew up. What?
it's one of the few that actually has body fossils of dinosaurs from the eastern US.
Yeah, and you can even find megalodon teeth in Martha's Vineyard, which
What?
is cool. Yeah,
I gotta Google that right now. No way. What do they look like?
They look like kind of your basic megalodon teeth, preservation wise and coloration wise. Like no crazy colors or anything, but it's still cool.
Yeah, they're gray. No
Yeah.
way. Crazy. I learned something new just now.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that that stuff saves it from being F. I would say it would still be a D tier until we see what those reptile and amphibian fossils actually look like.
Hmm.
The whip scorpion fossils that were reported do look pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it is, dude, there's nothing in B. I'm gonna say it is a low tier. Actually, I'd say it's a high tier D,
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
it's higher than Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a state that I wish I knew more about the fossil sites when I lived in it.
It's more comparable. I think it's kind of comparable to Arkansas as a
And
high
I
tier.
have found fossils in Massachusetts. When I was in elementary school, I found some plant fossils over there, just like digging through like the elementary school playground when I was in like first grade. We were just like pulling out some like tan colored plant fossils.
Sick, dude.
So the next state is Michigan.
Dude, Michigan might genuinely be like actually the worst. It might.
No, it's so it's got some Carboniferous stuff, it's got some Devonian stuff, it's got some Ordovician stuff. I've actually hunted for fossils in Michigan, and there was decent stuff.
Huh.
But not like there's the Alpena fossil site where there's tons of invertebrates. They find placoderms. It's Middle Devonian. It's one of these states where it has some fossils, but it doesn't do anything necessarily better than anything else.
There was that big mammoth skull found in a farmer's.
Yeah, except for Mastodons. Mastodons is pretty good about.
So does it do anything that would save it from being F?
Yeah, it's got there's Dunkleosteus fossils, there's shark teeth, there's I've seen decent ammonoids from there. There's apparently there's a I want to say there's a logger stock on the North Peninsula that preserves a bunch of chasmotaspids or something.
Dude, I knew none of this. I genuinely thought there was like nothing there. That's fine.
Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, the issue is like, yeah, it has Dunkleosteus fossils, but like, Ohio does it better. Yeah, it has the Alpena site, but then like Silica's about as good as Silica kind of spans Michigan, Ohio. Alpena's nice, but like Columbus limestone's very fossiliferous. The Ordovician stuff, like Ohio is like the Ordovician spot in the eastern US. And then like the even this like I'd even argue like I'd say it's D. Like it's about the comparable quality to Indiana.
Interesting.
I can get by D. Would you
It'll
guys
be
agree?
interesting to see our original ranking that we came up with when we were just like talking in the car and not Googling anything and comparing it to this one where we have Russell the like, a portable Google
So
to inform
the
us.
next state we have is Minnesota.
F or very low D. Minnesota is almost all Precambrian rock. There's like a tiny. I'm trying to remember. There's a little bit of Mesozoic rock in there, but like,
Yeah,
um, and there are actually the potential for dinosaur fossils. They found some, but like even looking at the surface geology, I'm trying to figure out exactly
there is
the
there is a Cretaceous shark tooth spot in Minnesota that's like somewhat well known. There is a species of Cretotus. I don't remember which one. It could be Gigantea or Longiplicatus. One of the two comes from Minnesota originally. And you find things like squally Corax teeth and whatnot. But if we're going to talk about the Cretaceous marine record in the U.S., the Cenomanian is pretty well represented in the U.S., I'd say. And probably the state that does it, the Cretaceous Cenomanian the worst would be Minnesota. Of the
Yeah. So Minnesota and Iowa are interesting in that like fossil work there one day might actually find some decent stuff from the eastern side of Appalachia, but again, it's that whole one day thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, so what are we saying on it?
F.
D, F, somewhere around there. I'd say D only because F's gonna start getting very crowded.
Good. I
Dude,
mean, F's gonna be crowded.
I'm gonna say D.
All right,
I'm gonna say F. I don't know. I'm gonna say
Okay,
F.
yeah, let's say F.
F.
Sorry.
All right, I'm fine with F.
How many do we have so far in F? We have one, two, three, four,
5.
six.
And I can think of at least one, well, I can think of at least 2 others that are gonna go in F, probably.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Who do we got next?
Next is Mississippi, which is
F.
What?
Mississippi F?
What?
Almost nothing happens there.
Dude,
Mississippi has really, really good Cretaceous stuff.
really good.
Better
And
than Alabama.
not better.
I consider them like the same state, basically.
Better
Yeah.
than Kansas. Better than Nebraska. Better
No,
than South
not
Dakota.
better than those, but
Better than
like
Texas.
Minnesota.
Well, better than Minnesota, but like
What else does it have besides?
Where's the Bangor limestone? Is that Alabama or Mississippi?
Alabama.
Okay. It is very low. Dude, I'd rather fossil hunt in Mississippi than in Arkansas. Like, let's be real. If it's a D, it's a very
I think
high.
D's fine.
You would go D?
I'm going D because like the criteria that you guys are using to put other things in D seem to also apply to Mississippi.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
think a lot more of these should be an F, but
I agree.
yeah.
Mississippi is the highest ranking D in my mind. Like it, yeah, highest ranking
I
D.
mean, like, honestly, like, I don't know.
Honestly, what is Idaho doing in C? I think we were very generous putting Idaho in C. Now that
Honestly, Georgia should be lower.
yeah, Georgia
Georgia should be in D.
Georgia should be in D. I agree. Mississippi is better than Georgia. Um,
I think Idaho is good where it is because it has decent skeletons of dinosaurs. It has Logoshock and fossil beds. It's got, Helicoprion.
okay, yeah, fine. Well, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. I think
Do you guys want us to move Georgia?
Yeah,
So Georgia to go to D?
yeah.
It's a high ranking D. Georgia is a high ranking D, but Mississippi is either like the highest ranking D or the lowest ranking C. It's right on the line in my mind.
So we have two. I feel like it should be C. I feel really weird putting Mississippi in D.
Yeah, the fact that Mississippi and Florida are in the same tier is bonkers. But as we said, if we're putting Mississippi in C, it's definitely the lowest ranking C.
Mississippi, you mean Mississippi and Alaska?
Yeah, it's wild.
So we need one more vote for C for Mississippi.
No, I think D.
I'd say D.
Mhm.
Okay, if we
Coin
put
flip.
D, D is full, but I'm okay with that.
You're okay
I
with
think the
D?
bottom half of the states are better.
So
Wait,
we have
Are we doing 8 per tier or 9 per tier?
9.
Oh, 9? Okay, so D
Yeah,
is 9.
so we have one more for D,
What? Yeah.
Okay.
which I think should be Missouri.
Missouri actually has dinosaurs, but they're like in 2 counties.
And the thing is with Missouri, you get the KPG boundary, I'm pretty sure. So you get some there's some stuff referred to like Mosasaurus hoffmanni and other things in Missouri. I haven't seen the material. I haven't
There's
even
a decent cave site in the southwestern corner of the state. It's interesting because like the only reason apparently they found it was because of 9/11. That so they because of 9/11 they banned all dynamiting for a day. So the construction workers decided to go check out what they're supposed to be dynamiting, and it turned out they found an entrance to an old cave that had a bunch of really well preserved Pleistocene things.
They do have nice Paleozoic
We're
fossils
working
too in
mysterious
the
ways.
in the Kansas City area.
I think
There's some nice chondrichthyans.
it does the Cretaceous worse than Arkansas does, for sure. Like
Yeah.
is
Well,
putting
no, they actually have partial skeleton of a dinosaur.
Yeah, so does Arkansas. Arkansas's got an actual skeleton of a dinosaur that has a taxon.
yeah.
What?
Missouri has that. Yes, Arkansaurus.
It's a foot. This is like half a hadrosaur. And this is like
Is
one of
it
those giant
diagnostic?
50-foot
Is it
hadrosaurs.
if we're comparing Chunkosaur to Chunkosaur, one of them's diagnostic. It's no longer a Chunkosaur. Bam. That's
The Hypsibema one's being worked on. Apparently, it's diagnostic.
But that's one of those like one day things. Like we'll know it's diagnostic one day when the paper drops.
So
No.
also a lot of
Like they've
people
actually
are.
presented on an SVP. They went back to the site and they have like three individuals. There's decent amounts of the skeleton. They're not like great compared to the Lance Formation, but they're probably some of the most complete hadrosaur material in the eastern U.S.
Interesting.
Then
Okay,
they
so
found turtles. There's some shed theropod teeth from the site. The outcrops are literally like in two counties in Missouri. The Cretaceous outcrops in Missouri are tiny.
I'm gonna say Missouri is very comparable with Arkansas.
Yeah, I'd say it's better than Arkansas slightly, but I mean not by much.
I would say D.
Yeah,
D.
D is full. Holy moly.
Yep. So then the next state's Montana.
S.
S, yeah. S
Montana,
or A.
I agree.
The only thing that holds Montana, like it's got the Cabbage Patch beds, it's got Bear Gulch, but then like most of the fossil record beyond that is just various flavors of Cretaceous, which is like the one
Jurassic
thing.
Park. Where did it open?
Yeah, true.
Well, the fossil site that's based on is in Wyoming. They moved it to Montana.
Here's
The,
the thing. Montana has Montana's
are
famous.
we talking book or are we talking movie?
Both. It's based on the Deinonychus quarry, and I'm pretty sure that's in the Bighorns of Montana.
I'm pretty sure that's in
Or sorry, Bighorns of Wyoming.
I would agree. What if you have multiple like full skeleton producing Cretaceous sites for dinosaurs plus you have Bear Gulch?
It's S. I mean,
Yeah.
Is S. However, I'm going to say something crazy. If we're looking at the Cretaceous as a whole, of the S tier states, Montana is going to be the lowest. Because the other states that I assume will be in S tier have what Montana has, but more.
yeah, but they have Montana has a ton of Campanian stuff. It also has a ton of Maastrichtian stuff.
So do the other S tier states that are coming up though. So
Colorado doesn't have Campanian that much in terms of dinosaurs.
in terms of dinosaurs, yes, but in terms of uh sorry, marine stuff, they do. Like the Mount Cook.
Russell. Both of the Yale's Peabody expedition to the Cloverly with John Ostrom was in Montana. Uh, and Egg Mountain is also in Montana.
Egg Mountain is Montana, but that's way northwest part of the state.
That's what the book was based on. Well, so the book is based on the
Oh,
book
Egg
uses
Mountain.
Egg
Okay, yeah,
Mountain.
that is Egg
The
Mountain
book
is
uses
Montana.
Egg Mountain. The movie uses the Cloverly. Both of them are in Montana.
But the Cloverleaf is weird because
Cloverly
it's
also
not
outcrops in Wyoming, but the Deinonychus quarry is in Montana. The one that Ostrom described Deinonychus from.
right.
You know, it's so funny, just as a random side thing. Right now, we're doing this episode and I'm looking at my Zoom, and then I have a tab open on my computer behind it that's like ranking each US state for tornadoes. It's like the most boy-brained experience I've ever had.
All right. So our next state is Nebraska.
I'd say
Nebraska,
high B. I
Nebraska.
would have said low A, but then some things made me reevaluate that.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, how is Nebraska sandwiched between South Dakota and Kansas, and it's like so much worse than either of those two?
It's actually
All
pretty good.
flat.
It's got like this stupidly good Cenozoic record. It's got
Oh,
like
wait, Kansas is the best late Cretaceous place in the world for marine, and for marine late Cretaceous. South Dakota is South Dakota. So,
Nebraska's the best
and
late Miocene.
Nebraska's like B tier.
Nebraska has like most of Nebraska is covered by the Valentine Formation, the Ogallala group. So it's got a lot of middle to late Miocene stuff. Like there's the Rhino Graveyard over by Ashfall, and it's got older Oligocene stuff in the Panhandle. And it does actually have some Cretaceous marine stuff, just not as much as Kansas.
Right.
Yeah, the Cretaceous marine stuff in Nebraska largely hails from the Pierre Shale Formation. But here's the thing: the Pierre Shale, it's Campanian. It can. It's very big. It's like the Niobrara, how it shows up in multiple states. The Pierre Shale is even bigger. You get Pierre
Yeah,
Shale.
yeah, the Pierre is stupid thick.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like 200 feet thick.
And I'm going to make an argument, okay? If when it comes to Campanian marine stuff in the US, you have the big players in my mind are the Pierre, the Morville, and the Ozan. And the Pierre is the worst out of all of those, which is crazy to say. I'm aware because it's probably the most famous of the three. However, it is the bone quality is typically terrible because they're riddled with like selenite or gypsum crystal.
What about the Mancos and the bear paw?
The Mancos is you get stuff in the Mancos that is Turonian. Okay, Mancos is
Oh,
like not a Campanian exclusive formation, like with the Pierre, but Pierre's mostly Campanian, you
Well,
know.
the Mancos is going to become a group because it's so expansive.
Yeah,
Like the Cenomanian stuff is Mancos, like that we have in
I
Arizona.
see.
So
Yeah,
and
that's
same needs to happen to the Dakota.
the bear paw is amazing, but it's kind of limited. It's only like in a couple states, right? One or two. Yeah. But to be fair, so is the Ozan. The Ozan is only in Texas and Arkansas.
Yeah,
So.
that's pretty cool.
So this is ashfall. This is what's in the northeastern part of Nebraska. The Valentine formation's across most of the state, and it's apparently just stupidly abundant with terms of just various mammal fossils. There's all
I'm not seeing it.
Nebraska was actually if this is the first day I heard about it. I don't know if others how like if it was the first, but like it was they're one of the first states that instituted a conservation program for like a mitigation program for construction because their construction crews kept hitting mammal fossils when they were trying to construct in the state.
Yeah, Nebraska is really cool. I'm gonna say, here's the thing: if it gets a low ranking, like that's just because everything else in the U.S. is just goaded. But
Yeah,
Nebraska, if you were to take like a European and ask them to think of like fossils in the American West, Nebraska is like in that realm of things. You know, it is a
yeah.
fossil producing state in the American West. It is
Yeah.
pretty good, but the others are they just happen to be better. Like if you put Nebraska anywhere else in the world outside of the US, it is a standout shining beacon of fossiliferous beauty. But because it's in the US, it's it loses to the Dakotas, it loses to Montana, it loses to Wyoming, it loses to I would say it beats Nevada maybe.
It's better
Maybe.
than Nevada,
Oh,
Idaho.
hold on. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So, Nebraska does have Paleozoic too. I've seen some really nice Peripriss's teeth, for example, coming out of Nebraska. So it doesn't have an absence of Paleozoic as well. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with a B tier on it.
I agree, B.
I
B
B.
is very respectable. I would say low key, it is better than. No, it's not better than California. Yeah, it's B.
Yeah. So Nevada is our next state.
Either C or
Okay.
B.
Let Cole take Nevada because Cole is the Nevada man. The only thing
Okay.
I can contribute about Nevada is a little bit about mammal stuff, which is I have
Okay.
a.
Yeah. So we have Ice Age Fossil State Park, really good Pleistocene locality, only second to La Brea and Alaska. Um, you have a really good trilobite assemblage, like one of those trilobite hunting places. Not nothing. I think a little bit of what's that formation the Cambrian formation in Utah.
The Wheeler.
Wheeler also outcrops a little bit in Nevada as well. Um, you have um, you have a really good Miocene camel and horse record. And then you have so there are dinosaurs known from Nevada. The first one was described in 22. Nevada Dromius. You have a lot more. I actually did the permitting for it. So I know we have a sauropod and an ankylosaur down coming in the pipeline. Uh,
Whoa.
yeah. It's like an intermontane deposit that's contained in eastern Nevada. It's just that nobody's prospected it because Nevada is the least populated state in the country. If you just Nevada's the triangle, right? If you trim 20 miles off the California border, you get rid of Vegas and Reno. Now Nevada is the least populated state in the country by far. The
I've
interior
been to
Nevada is a wasteland. Nobody lives.
I've been to probably three-fourths of the US and every state west of the Mississippi. Nevada was the only one I really did not like being in. It's almost, especially once you get between the Cascades and about Great Basin National Park, it's almost very uncomfortable. It's a endorheic basin. It's very creepy. Birds don't sing, insects don't chirp, plants don't grow.
Yep, I lived there for 4 years.
Yeah,
Right, right. I
it
lived next
makes
to Great Basin for 2 years.
it's a place that makes you feel like you are not supposed to be here. Like
Right.
living things are not supposed to be here.
There's actually a couple indie horror movies about that part of Nevada that I've run into people who aren't from Nevada that happen to have seen them, and they were like very well received. But they're made by a guy who from Ely, and a lot of my friends are like actors in the movie.
Yeah. It also has Berlin Ichthyosaurus State Park, which is
Okay, yeah, we're getting there. Nevada has one Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park. The Looning Formation is a monospecific formation. There's nothing else known from it besides Shonisaurus and one species of clam. That's really, really, really weird. Um, so you have at least 50 Shonisaurs of multiple ages deposited in one site, one place. Shonisaurus is now, for that reason, the best known of these large Shastasaurid type ichthyosaurs from the late Triassic. And then you have where I actually work, which is the Fossil Hill member of the Augusta Mountains and the Humboldt Range. The Fossil Hill member is the only panthalassic Lagerstätte known from the Triassic period. It is the key to understanding how the world's oceans recovered from the Permian-Triassic extinction event. It has 11 species of marine reptiles, 10 of them are ichthyosaurs. It is the best ichthyosaur locality in the world. Oldsmon's got more species. We have almost as many, plus a higher size disparity and ecological diversity. Um, the Fossil Hill member is, I think, one of definitely the most underrated marine unit in North America because it's producing the biggest animals are all the size of the largest mosasaurs, and they are three-dimensionally preserved and articulated. The only reason we don't get the complete skeletons when we excavate these things is either due to erosion or we can only the animal's so big that we can only grab the most significant parts, head, flippers, very, very anterior dorsal material, because the landscape is so difficult to work. It's all there. We can only grab what we need because of constraints brought on by how rugged the actual field work is. And it's the hardest place to work outside of the high Arctic.
Yeah.
So
And
that all said, does everybody still think Nevada is a C tier?
should
no,
they be?
here's the thing.
I'm
Here's the
fine
thing.
with me.
Here's the thing. I wish I can remember these guys' names. This was a little while ago, but I had a follower DM me, okay, and he wanted an ID on a couple loose mammal bones and teeth he found while prospecting in Nevada. I didn't know mammals very well, so I referred to my friends who did know mammals, and we encouraged him to go out there and report it. He goes out there, finds a bone bed of like felids and just tons of herbivores and stuff. And it turned out to be an extraordinarily significant site. Huge bone bed, either from the Miocene or Oligocene, I don't remember. And it turned into its own paper. Like that site got taken over and studied, which was really cool. And that makes Nevada like kind of that much cooler to me. And I like that it's desolate and barren and rugged and just like hardcore and badass. It's a great. I definitely think it's an A tier, but low A tier.
I think it's bottom of A or top of B. Yeah.
It's not
And
even fun
Nevada
rugged
does.
though. It's got some Devonian stuff too. There's Teeny Rao, Sarcopterygians from there.
There's also Permian stuff as well. There's Helicoprion from Nevada.
Dude, A tier. It's A tier, man. Come on, you can't miss it.
Yeah, I think bottom of A tier is fair.
I can get behind
And
that.
it's got places and stuff too.
It's better than Florida. Like I can say that for sure. Low key, like it is better than Florida. Let's be real.
The next state is New Hampshire.
F.
What does New Hampshire have? Like actually,
I think there's a little bit of Paleozoic exposures in that
I'm
sense.
sure it's got a mammoth somewhere in the state.
Everywhere has a mammoth.
yeah. Sorry, F. If you're from New Hampshire and you've been waiting on the edge of your chair, hoping to hear some guys give you some insights on how to find fossils in your state, our advice is give up, go somewhere else.
I think, geez, everything in the state is metamorphic or igneous. I'm not even sure if it has fossils.
Could this be a new contender for 50th place?
I think it may.
Yeah, the whole friggin' state is metamorphic. And let me see here. Da, 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 da. There's like one site near Littleton. Yeah, there's like five sites, and then a few others scattered throughout the Paleozoic, but most of the state is metamorphosed.
Dude,
What do they find in the Paleozoic there?
Uh, Crinoids, trilobite fragments, like
boo, boo. It's
Yeah,
40, either 49th or 50th. All right, New Hampshire. You suck.
so now we have we have New Jersey.
I think either C or B.
I
Probably
think
C.
C. I think it's a pretty
Yeah.
average. It's good for the Northeast, at least the coast, but I don't think that it beats any Cretaceous places
Yes.
outside of.
Here's
yeah.
why New Jersey is standout is because of its Cretaceous record. However, of the states with good Cretaceous records, New Jersey is the worst.
Well, it's better than well, is it better than Maryland?
Yeah, it's better than Maryland, but I wouldn't say Maryland has a good Cretaceous record. It just has literally the Severn Formation, and that's it.
It's better than Missouri.
The Miocene in New Jersey does not compare with the Miocene of Maryland. New Jersey does have some interesting Euprasian stuff. So there is more than just Cretaceous, but I don't see it being more than C.
It's high end D or low end C. Yeah.
And D is D full?
D's full.
Uh,
It's better than the stuff we have in D. That's
dude,
a
dude, you cannot tell me that.
It's C. It's C. It's C. Put it right behind Alaska, which is still in C for some reason.
Yeah, that's insane to me. Yeah, it's actually like wretched that Alaska's in C. It's physically makes me
New Mexico's top of A or bottom of S.
I would say A. New Mexico is awesome. That's where
A.
Dracopristis was found that articulated coelacanth. There's tons of Cretaceous, some really, really nice Triassic, like the Coelophysis bone beds over there.
the
There's Jurassic too.
Yeah.
marine record.
There's Morrison outcrops in New Mexico.
Yeah, the marine record in New Mexico is pretty good. A friend of mine actually found the first associated dentition of Tychodus from New Mexico not too long ago, a couple years ago.
Yes, and the
Yeah,
marine
totally.
record in New Mexico is pretty good.
And there's also some good terrestrial New Mexico stuff as well.
Yeah, you get the San Jose Basin,
Yeah.
not
The Kirtland and the
Juan
Fruitland.
Basin.
San Juan Basin. The San Juan Basin is great.
Kirtland and Fruitland. You have western exposures of the Dockham in New Mexico as well. If you have about the Dockham and the Chinle in New Mexico.
Really, I
Yep.
did not know there's Dockham in New Mexico. No way.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean you have the
few Etosaurs and some Allocotosaurs, so like Trilophosaurus type stuff.
yeah, and you have the Menifee Formation, you have the Moreno Hill Formation. So you have a lot of
Cliff
Cretaceous.
House.
Yeah. You have a lot of Cretaceous exposure. So New Mexico is a pretty high up. I would say A.
Oh,
I would say New Mexico is better than Arizona, probably.
absolutely. Mexico's much better
Yeah.
than Arizona.
I would say A, if only because if we're limiting S to 5, then has very stiff competition.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say it was a high A for sure.
So now we have New York.
Eurypterus.
Yeah,
Eurypterids.
the Eurypterids are awesome in New York. You have a ton of really, really nice Paleozoic stuff in New York.
So most Eurypterid fossils, if you're thinking of them, come from this little outcrop called the Birdie Waterline that straddles the Canada-U.S. border in New York. And if you're thinking of a Eurypterid, you're probably thinking of something coming from the Birdie Waterline, just because Eurypterid fossils don't preserve well. New York is also where you find the giant orthocones. There is some Devonian stuff, but it's not
You
as
mean the 30-foot long orthocones?
no. I think at last count, the highball estimate for them is like maybe 16 feet.
Yeah, for those in the audience who are huge fans of Walking with Monsters, or really anything that features orthocones, 30-foot orthocones are a myth, based off of basically nothing.
Yeah.
New York is one of those places that is like you'd expect it to be bad, but it's surprisingly good. Of the
It's a
East,
big state, like honestly, like it's like
Yeah.
the biggest state on the East Coast,
There's like surprising
or
extent.
besides Florida, I guess. But
I'm trying to see if I I don't have it here, but I think it was like I actually calculated vaguely what the aperture of the big like the biggest orthicone we know of would be, and it was like less than 2 feet or something. They're very long, but they're very skinny.
downsize another beloved animal from the Paleozoic, Russell.
here, I have a question. Do we like New York more than Maryland?
Yeah,
Really?
Yes.
Just for its Paleozoic stuff?
yeah.
Their stuff is more unique than what Maryland has.
Okay. I'd say it beats Maryland by a little bit. Yeah. I think New York and Illinois are quite comparable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good take.
I would argue that New York is a B tier.
Boo. Silence. Why? It has eurypterids and trilobites. Okay.
It
What
has
else?
a lot
It
more
actually
than
has
that.
Beecher's trilobite bed, which is like one of the few places that has trilobites with legs and soft tissues, but you know.
Well, there's also really interesting microassemblages too in the Devonian of New York.
Oh, they
Include
have
some really
placoderms.
interesting.
They have a Dunkleosteus relative that's maybe 3 meters long. They have some other various bits and bobs of placoderms and sharks and that kind of stuff. They're Franian actually, so they're a little bit older than the famous Cleveland shale stuff. The sharks, I don't think there's that much there in terms of sharks, but it's the placoderms of the Franian are kind of interesting. But it's
Here's
just they're
here's the thing, Ben. You want to put New York in B. If you put New York as higher than Alaska, I will walk out of this podcast. Like that's an insane take. Like if we're gonna say that Alaska is okay in C, then there's no way we can argue that.
We're gonna do some reshuffling at the end, and I think Alaska's going right up to B when we do that.
Yeah, I think it should go up to be like right.
How about if New York is in B, I will allow Alaska to come up to B as well.
You
Okay.
will allow?
I
Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll put Alaska in
I would
B.
say New York and C because it has to compete with Pennsylvania and Ohio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Alaska is just 10 times more unique than New York. I'm sorry.
Okay, Alaska can move up to B, and then we can put New York in the C.
Yes, I'm happy with that for now. I bet Alaska is going to end up going even higher eventually, but we'll see.
Our
We will.
next state is North Carolina.
So North,
I would say D except for D is full. It's got Dinosuchus, it's got some Triassic stuff, but
Well, it's
no,
also got the Lee Creek mines, which have some of the nicest preservations on like any Miocene. It goes after Miocene too. You have Pliocene and Pleistocene there, but you can find like associated megalodon dentitions and things like that. The preservation on the teeth are extraordinary. Like really, really world-class fossils come out of there. You have
and
some other Cenozoic marine stuff.
and and North Carolina, lest you forget, has the Tar Heel and Petey formations, which are Maastrichtian Cretaceous. Tar Heel might be companion, I'm not sure, but
Yeah, so you can find your Corax too.
yeah, you can find a lot of prognathodon material. There's been nothing articulated found yet, I don't believe, but a lot of the like Holden Beach. When you think of Holden Beach mosasaurs, right? That kind of look. Think of that. Put it in inner North Carolina because that's all PD formation stuff. So PD formation has produced that bonanza of Cretaceous material of mosasaurs and pycnodont dentitions and whatnot on Holden Beach, but then you get that a lot of more of it in the Carolinas and sorry, in North Carolina. So North Carolina, Tar Heel and PD, underrated formations. I think there's going to be some good stuff out of there in the future. It's kind of only just prospering now. People taking a look at it.
Yeah, I would say that it's a C tier. I think that North Carolina beats Maryland. I would
Yeah,
say. So I would put it in C.
yeah.
And here's the thing: most of North Carolina is absolute buns, completely dookie. It's just metamorphic Appalachian rock, but the eastern half of the state is quite nice. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So now we have North Dakota.
B,
A.
maybe C.
no, okay, pause. North Dakota. Let's think about this. North Dakota is in a similar position that Nebraska was in. Let me.
Yeah.
North Dakota has the Hill Creek Formation. That's cool, but it has the worst Hill Creek Formation out there.
No, hold on. Tanis is in North Dakota.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Nor-
also
I-
has Dakota
North
has
Dakota, I keep hearing is pretty productive too in terms of Hell Creek.
yeah, North Dakota has Pierre Shale as well. So Jormungandr, that very interesting mosasaur that's like an intermediate between Cladastes and Mosasaurus that Emilio Zilo described, that came out of there. But to be fair, Pierre Shale kind of sucks in terms of preservation. And Jormungandr, great specimen, but the bone quality, like you can see, it's kind of it could be better. Um, so yes, they have good Pierre Shale. Yes, they have good Lancian fauna, and it's always kind of just been people used to diss North Dakota. Like you don't find it's like the worst Hell Creek, yes, because there's not much T Rex in there. There's never been Ankylosaurus found in the state, but it's because they have the smallest section. And then recently, big discoveries like Teen Rex. Teen Rex is the most beautiful T Rex fossil ever found, probably. Like it's gorgeous. That came out of North Dakota. Tanis, agree. North Dakota. Like there's some great stuff, but I think it does it. I think it does the whole Western fossils thing better than Nebraska. It
No,
also,
Nebraska does the Cenozoic a lot better.
yeah, you have White River stuff in North Dakota too. That's for sure. And then it does it worse than like Montana and South
Yeah.
Dakota and stuff. But
Yeah, something we didn't talk about when we talked about Montana. Montana's got by far the best Campanian
Yeah. That
dinosaur
may be
record.
Utah, but I'd honestly give that to
Yeah, it's
Utah.
there in Utah.
North Dakota does the
Close,
Paleocene
but it's
probably
better.
the best in the U.S. It
Yeah.
has some stuff in the western part of the state, and also has preserved members of the Cannonball Sea, which is the last major inundation of the Western Interior Seaway before it completely left the continent. Um, problem with North Dakota is the entire eastern half of the state is covered by glacial sediment from Lake Agassiz. Um, there are a few like late Miocene sites that poke their heads out in the eastern side of the state. The funny thing is, based on where it is, North Dakota actually has almost the entire Phanerozoic fossil record. They're just all buried in one way or another.
Mhm.
Like from drill cores, it goes like all the way down to the Cambrian, and
super
like in order almost, with very few gaps. But again, it's not exposed.
North Dakota, I think, is an A tier state. It is like in my mind, North Dakota is to northern Laramidia as New Mexico is to southern Laramidia. You know, like it's great, but it's not the best. And
I
we're
would put it in B. I wouldn't put it in A. I don't think it stands a chance
My
with.
face when North Dakota's on the same level as Alabama.
dude
I think it's fairly comparable with like Nebraska.
in our
I,
original rankings, North Dakota went like really low, like shockingly low. It's to the point that even I felt like really weird about it. But it's just like, what does North Dakota do that's unique? You know, like not that much realistically, if you think about it.
yeah, I think B would be comfortable.
I'm comfortable with B because yes, North Dakota is an absolutely magnificent fossil state, but the formations that are absolutely magnificently full of fossils are also present in other states and to a higher capacity.
Yeah, except for Paleocene, but I mean, North Dakota does Paleocene better than any other state, but that's almost an indictment on North Dakota itself.
Does it do the Paleocene better than Colorado?
Yeah, just
Wow.
it's more extensive. Yeah, there's Corral Bluffs, but Corral Bluffs is like one site.
Okay.
North Dakota is known for producing like Coryphodon fossils. It's known for producing Champsosaurus primates, a lot of Champsosaurs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
So
Well,
we're B.
B. Yeah, I think it's an upper level B. It beats Alabama.
I'm trying to remember what my friend Russell Hawley once said about the Paleocene. It's like nothing but rats, frogs, and turtles or something. I don't remember the exact quote.
So our next state, Ohio.
Either low A or high B. I would probably say B only because there's so much competition.
If any formation were to carry a state, I do think that the Cleveland Shale would do it.
Ohio has a very, very rich fossil record. The so it's Ohio probably has the single best fossil record of any eastern U.S. state outside of Florida.
Mhm.
The southwestern corner of the state has the Cincinnati Arch, which is probably the richest Ordovician fossil sites in North America. There are tons of them. They're easily accessible. They're they're highly studied, but they're also very accessible to the public. There's tons of public collecting. You have the Silica Shale in the northwest part of the state, which is known for having like beautiful Devonian fossils and brachiopods. Um, the Cleveland Shale is a Cleveland Shale. I mean, people know about that. The Cleveland Shale actually isn't that great. And then Ohio has a stupidly good Pennsylvanian record. If you're so in the U.S., if you're thinking of the terrestrial Pennsylvanian, like most of what you're thinking of is either coming from Illinois or Ohio. Some of the first cobalt faunas came from Ohio, but like we have a very good amphibian record. We have decent insect record. There's one county in Ohio that's produced marine localities with shark teeth, amphibians, roachoids, other invertebrates, and cobalt
Roachoid sounds
faunas.
like a slur.
It does. I'm writing that down. But yeah, they're especially the what is it? The not the Conemaugh group is very rich, and then Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania are lucky in that they have the some of the only Permian deposits east of the Mississippi, and we actually get stuff out of them. We have Pelycosaurus, we actually have Dimetrodon, we have Edaphosaurus.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We have a partial skeleton of a pelycosaur that got collected by MCZ a while back. That's an endemic species to the area. Yeah, it's not as good. They're not. This isn't like Texas level quality, but like it's. We do get some of the big names in paleontology beyond just Dunkleosteus. And then our Pleistocene record, we have mastodons everywhere, and we have a few decent other sites. We have the Burning Tree mastodon, which was so complete it still had gut contents intact. Um, we have a pretty good giant beaver record, but I think Indiana's is better. The one thing that our Pleistocene fauna kind of lacks is that we don't have any really good carnivore fossils.
Interesting.
I would say A tier.
Yeah.
I would
No,
really
I think B.
Nah. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am very biased to the Mesozoic because that's where my interests lie.
Me
But
too.
like, if we're being real, Ohio, I don't want to say it's the goat of Paleozoic stuff, but it might be the goat. Like it's really, really good. And I'm gonna be very comfortable comparing it to New Mexico personally. I would say it's as good, if not better, than Florida personally. I think Ohio is like an archetypical A tier state and the shining beacon of the East.
so
It probably would
so
be in terms of
it it is a wonderful experience the first time that you like see a complete Cladosolake preserved in person. Like you can see why those things are depicted in so many textbooks and like seeing all of the articulation and the soft tissue on there. I really, really am fond of the Ohio stuff. And yes, it is more than just the Cleveland Shale, obviously. So I definitely would go A on it.
Yeah, I think we're outvoted. Cole, we're outvoting you. I think it's A.
I
Okay.
think we may have to bump it down to B because we got some other stuff coming along that may push it down, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so our next state is Oklahoma.
Dude, Oklahoma is one of those places like New York where you think it's bad, but it's actually really impressive. Let me run down Oklahoma for you, right? Way in the south, you get Waurika, right? So you get these Permian sharks that I'm sure Ben will talk plenty about. Things like Orthocanthus, very well preserved. But then in the dinosaur realm, Oklahoma has
No, hold on. Take it back to the Permian real quick. Oklahoma's got the best Cotyloranchus record as well. The late early and the early middle Permian.
they also
cool.
have that Fisherville fauna, which Texas doesn't have.
What
Which
do you
is
mean fauna? Can you explain that?
there's a Let me
Is
see what the I want to get the actual name right. I know Richard Spur. It back in the Permian. It was an upland montane locality that had a bunch of fissures and in the Ordovician dolomite. Animals fell in there. Animals got washed into there. The remains did,
mhm.
and it's this very unusual upland fauna that's not present in like Texas and stuff. If you are a fossil collector, and if you're older than us. You may have seen like Captorinus fossils being sold online. They're almost certainly from Richard Spur.
Interesting.
Um,
So that means that Oklahoma, when we're talking about how good its Permian is, we can't add the caveat that, like, okay, the Texas Permian is the same and better. Oklahoma does have its unique stuff, which is cool. And then in terms of Appalachian dinosaurs, Oklahoma, I'm going to say is pretty comparable with Texas because the antlers
I
formation.
think it's better than Texas.
Well, I have something up my sleeve about the Texas Appalachian record that is like not that well known for some reason. So you'll see. But Acrocanthosaurus, if you're thinking about Acrocanthosaurus, you're probably thinking of Oklahoma specimens. There are a lot of interesting Appalachian meaning the
Moran is from South Dakota,
yeah.
Wyoming.
No, wait, Fran. No, wait, Fran's from. No, I think Fran's from Oklahoma.
No way.
Yeah, because I remember reading a book about it. There was a weird squabble over it.
and
Well,
That was
wasn't
connected.
it a Black Hills thing? The BHI thing?
No, yeah, it's from the Antlers Formation of Oklahoma.
and here's the thing.
Black
So
Hills is working in Oklahoma? That's crazy. Okay,
no,
never
no,
mind.
that's the thing is it's a very similar situation you see with a lot of things. Apparently, like some local guy found it. There was a slap fight over ownership, and it's weird because this was like 10 years before Sue or something. I went to the museum in Idabel. There's a little tiny local museum. They have like two fossils there. They have an ammonite and they have a cast of Fran. And in the bookshop, they had a book about the discovery of Fran and all like the legal slap fight that happened over it that had to get this in order to get the skeleton to a museum on display. I never got it because it looked very dry, but it sounds like there was some kind of really crazy stuff going on there.
Huh.
And here's the thing. When it comes to Oklahoma dinosaurs, like I think one thing that will come up in this podcast very regularly is okay, the users will hear us saying, okay, it has Appalachian dinosaur fauna. Here's why that's special. The Western Interior Seaway was just a water body that cut North America in half in the late Cretaceous period, effectively making North America two separate continents where you had independent evolutions of dinosaurs because they were separated from each other by a body of water. Laramidia was the western continent that has things like Triceratops and T-Rex. Appalachia was the eastern continent. It was bigger, but it's very poorly known what fossils were found in there because there are not many fossil producing rocks from that eastern continent. And um, here's the thing. During the Apsian and the Albian, the Seaway was starting to come in. There was probably still some interchange. So things like Acrocanthosaurus, yes, you can find out west. But it was kind of, the beginning of that time. So we still call it an Appalachian fauna. And yeah, those in general are rare. Like the early Cretaceous record of dinosaurs in Texas, sorry, not in Texas, in the US, is quite sparse. And worldwide is actually pretty sparse. So it does mean something when we say, yes, it has eastern dinosaurs to be found in Oklahoma. But that's not even the craziest dinosaur part about Oklahoma, because yes, they have these Cretaceous Appalachian fauna, but then you get the Morrison Formation in abundance in Oklahoma. There's a famous.
No, not in abundance.
It,
It is not in abundance. It's in the
No, no,
panhandle.
yeah, it's barely there.
Yeah. Now,
that
there's an extremely good quarry there, but it's barely there.
Yeah, I would say the quarry is abundant. That quarry where
Yeah.
stuff comes from is abundant. My bad. Things like Saurophaganax, which has been
Allosaurus annex. This is an Allosaurus annex believer household.
yes, it's I was that's where I was going. Saurophaganax has recently been turned into Allosaurus annex, and Ben on this podcast has an episode that goes all over that. So if you're curious, you should look. But yeah, dinosaur scene in Oklahoma pretty solid. Permian scene in Oklahoma also pretty solid. Like probably
Uh,
not your state, but high B for sure.
Yeah, I could go with a high B on it.
so there's apparently two books on Fran and the weird stuff around it. There's The Bone War of McCurtain County, a true story of two ordinary men's quest for treasure and their epic battle against extraordinary odds. And then there's another one which I'm trying to get the whole title of. It's Acrocanthosaurus, Bones of Contention, how the true story of Cephas Hall and Sid Love, the Arkansas hillbilly and the Choctaw Indian who, and the I can't get the rest of the title, the website's not loading up.
Hmm.
There's two books on this.
Huh.
Someone will hear that, type it in, find it, and read it.
Oh, here we go. The true story of Cephas Hall and Sid Love, the Arkansas hillbilly and the Choctaw Indian who outsmarted the corporation, saved the dinosaur.
Riveting.
And they're both by the same guy. But they look like they're different books.
Where are we putting Oklahoma? Are we going to put it in high B?
I think B.
Yeah.
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 It doesn't have any marine stuff basically at all.
In the extreme southern parts of it, yes, like and stuff, but it's basically just piggybacking off of what North Texas has.
So our next state is Oregon.
And
Great
here's,
minds.
here's the thing. Oregon is one of those states that you think would be amazing, but actually is kind of bad.
That's
Like,
pretty good.
opposite situation. It has good whales. It has good decapods. You can even find megalodon teeth there, even though they're quite rare. But outside of the marine Cenozoic,
I
I don't
mean,
know anything.
So Oregon has very good terrestrial Cenozoic. They have this is actually where you get a lot of the spike-toothed salmon. There are some from California, but there's also quite a few known from Oregon. They
any
have John
Ray Troll
Day.
enjoyers here?
What?
Any other Ray Troll enjoyers here?
I know Ray Troll and I know what illustration you're talking about. Yes, those spike tooth salmon.
No, okay. Ray Troll tangent real quick, because Ray Troll is, if you're listening to this, you guys will love Ray Troll. Ray Troll is, so first of all, he's from Kansas, so he's born in like, rural Kansas. And so he's got those roots, but he's like spent a lot of his life as a salmon fisherman, and he's an artist living in the Pacific Northwest and in Alaska. And he does lots of art about. He's got a very distinct, unique art style, frequently comedic as well. He does lots of art about salmon and salmon fishing, but he's also really, really into paleontology. He runs the Paleo Nerds podcast. He does a lot of paleo art that has the exact same comedic style as his fisherman art. And he's like in Juneau, he's like a local like icon. So there's like Ray Troll festivals and Ketchikan, Juneau, and
Holy moly!
yeah.
Yeah. So going back to Oregon, there is a really cool, I believe, Oligocene deep sea marine site, which there's some pretty rare deep sea sharks that you can find teeth of over there. And that's a pretty unique thing, not just, in the US, but worldwide. You don't get many of those deposits. So that's something going for Oregon. But outside of that, I'm not sure if there's anything that's
John Day. John Day has like four different
Yeah,
flexible
really
layers.
good, really good, really good. Is it Miocene, right?
Well, it's all of them. There's a late Eocene layer, there's an early Oligocene layer, there's a late Oligocene layer, there's a middle Miocene layer, and I want to say there may be like a
Really good Cenozoics.
Yeah, there's entelodont skulls from there. Hemipsalodon, which is the largest hyenodont in North America. It's a
How big is
relative
it?
of it's a
I love
relative of Megaistrotherium, but it's like I the size of those things is so iffy, but it's like a big animal, like probably 300, 400 kilograms.
I did not know.
Wow.
For
Like
intel.
so the skull of Hemipsalodon is 18 inches long.
I did not know that there were intelligence told.
400 kilograms?
Yeah,
That's
it's a hyena
those in the
loring.
audience. That's larger than the average polar bear.
Yeah, well, so it's part of the same group as Simba Kubwa and
I
Megaistrotherium.
get it. Okay.
But
Ben,
the thing is, those things are also massively oversized, so I'm kind
Oh,
of
Ben,
I think like huge creodonts are like so cool and like probably the scariest mammalian predators ever. From like like they've got the trappings of a big cat or a bear, but there's something far more primordial.
I
Ben,
think they're probably like the biggest ones are still like less than 500, I think. I'm trying to
That's
remember.
still enormous. That's still 1,000 pounds.
dude, Ben, can you scroll up so we can see the state rankings? Because for Oregon, I'm actually kind of unsure where to put it now because I didn't know it had a
The
holes and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
so there's more. There's more. So Oregon also has some Cretaceous rock. There's a apparently there's a ter like so it's the eastern part of the state's a lot of these exotic terrains. I think there are actually some Triassic marine reptile things, but there's a pterosaur bone bed reported from eastern Oregon.
What?
Yeah, it's one of
That's
Redalax.
Dude,
Triassic reptiles. You're
Hang
not
on,
thinking of Shastosaurus, are you?
hang
wait,
on.
wait, is this, do you know the formation that has that pterosaur bone bed? I'm mind
Yeah,
blown.
yeah, I'm gonna look it up here in a sec. So paleontology in Oregon. Uh, yeah, it's Shastosaurus. There's also
Shastosaurus is from California.
no, but there's also some from Oregon.
Is it a
Uh,
Shastosaurid or
well, it's
Shastosaurus?
like CF Shastosaurus.
Oh, cool. Okay,
There's
interesting.
a Metriorhynchid from Oregon, a
Okay, that
Zoniate,
sounds
which
Triassic, but
there's a Thalattosaur from
that's
Oregon.
Triassic. Cool.
Dude,
Um, there's a couple dinosaur fossils, but they're not amazing. There's some other there's Scapanorhynchus. Here it is. I think they're tapajarids. Benetazia, it looks like. Let me see if this is the. Let me see if this is it.
dude, it's okay. The pterosaur bearing formation in Oregon is the Hudspeth formation. I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
Albion. You get ammonites and stuff in it. I'm mind blown. I did not know there were Cretaceous. Dude, I am supposed to be the marine Cretaceous guy. How did I not know about this? This is crazy.
because it's an exotic terrain, and those things are always a pain to try to track down.
So I'm thinking if all of that's the case, I think there's a solid argument for it to be a B tier.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep, I agree. Yep.
it's like it's in the
Good place
same boat
for
as
it. There's
Nebraska
room.
and North Dakota. It's if it was a European country, it'd be one of the most fossil rich, but unfortunately, it's competing against like Colorado and
I don't know.
Montana.
I think there's some like just in my readings on Triassic marine literature, there's some sleeper European formations just from the Triassic
Oh
generally.
yeah.
It's
Well,
extrapolating that out to the entire Phanerozoic. I think we're underrating Europe a little bit.
Europe has pretty magnificent fossils, but Germany is a large reason for that. So
yeah, it's mostly Germany.
No, the best Triassic marine stuff in Europe is in Italy, Italian Alps.
Yeah.
wow.
So our next state is Pennsylvania.
Um, it's hard. Pennsylvania has Red Hill, but outside of Red Hill, most of its sites are and other states I think do it better. Red Hill is really nice. It has really good terrestrial and freshwater Lake Devonian. It has like some dinosaur footprints too, but like it has carboniferous rocks, but and it does produce fossils, but like nothing amazing.
There's
Um,
there's some stem tetrapodomorphs and tetrapod type things in Pennsylvania, right? Like
yeah, but that's
isn't
Red Hill.
yeah, isn't Hynerpidon from
Yep,
Pennsylvania?
Hynerpeton. There's a lot of Sarcopterygians from Pennsylvania, but a lot of it's Red Hill and Red Hill
Hyneria,
adjacent things. What?
Hyneria.
Yeah, that's from Red Hill. Again, it's all Red Hill or Red Hill adjacent sites like Tioga. We get exposures of Cleveland Shale adjacent stuff in Pennsylvania. No one's reported any. Like there are rumors of Dunkleosteus bones, but they're just rumors, and what has been seen is not comparable to Cleveland.
Russell,
Um,
by the way, it makes me so happy that you pronounced Dunkleosteus correctly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some nice Pennsylvania stuff. I've collected at a couple Pennsylvanian sites over there. There's a little bit of Permian, but it's not as good as even the stuff in Ohio. The Pennsylvanian stuff it would probably be as good as the stuff in Ohio if someone did as much work compared to Ohio, because Ohio had a lot of people looking for stuff. But again, other than Red Hill, I'm struggling to think of things that really stand out.
I'm thinking Pennsylvania is like worse than North Carolina, comparable with Idaho. You know,
Yeah,
C tier is comfortable, like a low end C tier, not the lowest, but low end.
I'm fine with that.
there's a lot of plant fossils, but like
Who cares?
but a lot of places have a lot of plant fossils.
Yeah, sick.
Okay, so the next state is Rhode
Yeah.
Island.
F. Next.
Hang
Sorry.
on, no, no, no. What? Hold on. I want to actually see if there's even anything that's even rock in Rhode Island, just for the heck of it.
And not that a rock that's not concrete.
Yeah. Here, Rhode Island geologic map. So it looks like most of it's Proterozoic. There's some Paleozoic stuff in the middle of the state, but I don't even know if there's any fossils from it. Interestingly, there is like a part of the very southern tip of Rhode Island that has some really weird like rocks from where Pangea came together then tore apart, but they're just
Yeah,
like
New York's got that, but it's better.
right. Um, but like there's almost nothing in Rhode Island.
F.
So our next state is South Carolina. I think if I think it could be debated that South Carolina or Florida would be the best in the Southeast.
I'd
Yeah,
say
South
Florida because
Carolina,
we can
I'd say
see.
Florida's better just because Florida has a terrestrial record on top of the marine record.
Yeah,
South Carolina's like mostly
yeah,
marine.
that's fair.
but South Carolina has a really good late Oligocene marine record that is pretty rare in the fossil record. And they just like take it for granted, finding these like Carcharocles, Angustiden's teeth just like everywhere. They
Oh
have
yeah, and
really good
swallowdons and
marine
all that
bias
stuff.
or
But
what?
it's kind of like a lot of the stuff in like it's like Illinois where it's one fossiliferous aspect of it is carrying the state.
Yeah.
Mm,
There is Cretaceous in South Carolina. The PD formation is there. Really good marine Eocene too. Like the Harleyville area has some really, really beautiful Carcharocles, Sokolovi, and some other things. They have found some complete cetaceans, fossil cetaceans in South Carolina.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think North Carolina does what South Carolina does, but better. The
Yeah,
reason South Carolina
except for marine Oligocene.
the reason that South Carolina is more famous than North Carolina is because its biggest city happens to be on an extremely fossiliferous part, Charleston. Charleston is extremely fossiliferous. That's why it gets so much attention and there are so many hunters. But I do suspect that North Carolina is just like a better version of South Carolina.
They're different. I think that the marine record in South Carolina is different than the one in North Carolina. You do have some overlaps, obviously, but I wouldn't say that they're carbon copies and that North Carolina does it better. Like
Yeah, fair enough.
and I think that the Harleyville site is a really well preserved and fairly unique site preservationally for Eocene marine fossils.
I think it's very comparable to North Carolina, though, at least. I'm pretty sure we can put it in C and be okay with our decision.
Yeah. I mean, I always hear about South Carolina having the best megalodon teeth, and I know nothing about megalodon tooth hunting, so
South Carolina has some nice teeth, but a lot of the megalodon teeth are pretty worn down. They're not the best quality. I think
okay.
Florida or the Lee Creek mines of North Carolina would
Okay.
probably beat out most of the sites in South Carolina for megs.
Okay.
But so I guess I could do C. I was thinking B personally.
Yeah, I cannot say that South Carolina is better than North Carolina personally. It's just not as diverse.
So our next state is South Dakota, which is an S.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude, South Dakota, there are three states that I think have the best chance of winning this. South Dakota is one of them. Now, there are four that are kind of tied low key in my mind in South Dakota.
There are, but I think I know which one's the best.
Yeah, me too. It's
So
not
in
South Dakota, but yeah,
South Dakota is close. South Dakota realistically has a chance.
definitely yes, but
South Dakota loses points because it has nothing really before the Morrison.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so South Dakota has some
No, that's
interesting
Wyoming. Never
stuff.
mind.
So South Dakota has some interesting stuff and stuff that I would love to eventually explore that is older than the Morrison. The problem is nobody's researching it, or the research that's been done is outdated, and I suspect there's more than what meets the eye. Like there's Triassic outcrops in South Dakota too. Um, Outside of like what's unexplored, the Hell Creek Formation is incredible in South Dakota. You have the Pure Shale, you have the Carlisle, you have the Greenhorn, you have the Belfouche. You have so much over there for the Cretaceous.
You have the White River Group.
Yep.
Yep.
It's honestly it's hard to say which of the three states the white river group really crops out in, which is South Dakota, Wyoming, and Nebraska, which has the best, but they're all pretty good. South Dakota also has the Mammoth site.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, no, never mind, that's Wyoming. South Dakota's got in terms of Morrison, the most famous holotype, and there's going to be Barosaurus. Um,
South Dakota is like the worst for Morrison, but that's like
no, worse for Morrison is like Arizona.
Yeah, it's
Oklahoma.
no, worse for Morrison. Oh, would Oklahoma be worse for Morrison?
No. The Stovall core in Oklahoma is really, really good.
I'm gonna say
There's nothing in South Dakota like Stovall Quarry.
here's the thing. If we're gonna start thinking about if we're gonna rank these in order in S tier, one thing that South Dakota has over Montana and maybe over Colorado is it has a surprisingly present early Cretaceous record. I didn't think there were really any states that had a good early Cretaceous.
Montana's got the Cloverleaf.
And Wyoming has a better record than Montana. It's got not only the Cloverleaf, but there's some formations above it that have produced like
I don't think. I mean, like all the best Cloverleaf sites are in Montana. There's a little bit of in Wyoming, might be more, but none of it together they don't add up to more than the Cloverleaf gives us.
Yeah, and
All the holotypes from the Clover, Sorpelta, Tenontosaurus, Acrocanthosaurus, Deinonychus are all from Montana.
and actually Dimetrodon also found in Wyoming. Sorry, we're not talking about Wyoming right now. Never mind. But
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. We'll save it for when we rearrange S tier.
yeah. Okay. What's next?
So next we have Tennessee.
Dude,
Tennessee.
is surprisingly good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Here are two things about Tennessee that I think give it major points. One, the gray fossil site, Miocene marine, sorry, not marine, Miocene mammal Lagerstätte, and two, the Coon Creek Formation, Campanian marine fossils. It's can be considered a Lagerstätte, especially for invertebrates like crabs, but it also spits out things like mosasaurs.
I thought the gray was in Indiana.
No, so there's two Miocene sinkhole sites in eastern U.S. The Pipe Creek sinkholes in Indiana, it's the worst of the two. Gray is just like spitting out, complete rhinos and gomphotheres like no one's business. And pandas.
Whoa. Did not know that.
Pandas.
Yeah, complete panda skeletons. Multiple complete panda skeletons.
Dude, that rocks.
And then there's there's deer, there's peccaries. There are so many damn tapirs. I volunteered at Gray once for a summer, and there's just tape. I unfortunately I didn't get to actually prep any fossils, but there was tapir and turtles everywhere.
And the thing is that the Coon Creek Formation, having a really good Cretaceous bearing marine formation, like marine Cretaceous formation in the east like that, kind of odd. Like you'd expect it from Alabama and Mississippi, but
isn't there an Asdarkid from the Coon Creek?
I wouldn't know. I don't know much about pterosaurs. They have always not interested me for some reason. But just the fully marine stuff, red
pandas, not panda bears.
Well, red pandas are the real pandas.
Okay.
Like they were the original.
I thought pandas were panda bears were like a very recent way after the Miocene.
Yeah, there's an Asdarkid from the Coon Creek, and there are some dinosaur it's another bloat and float hadrosaur.
Yeah.
I will say though that whatever's in the Tennessee Cretaceous does not compare to a lot of these states.
No. There's also placoderm. There's some Dunkleosteus fossils from Tennessee. There.
I don't know.
Most of the rest of the state is some flavor of Paleozoic.
I would call it a C or D.
I'm gonna say it's comparable to Alabama. I'm gonna say it's comparable to Mississippi. Where's Mississippi? Where are we putting Mississippi? Is Mississippi?
I'd say it's better than Mississippi if we're putting Mississippi in D.
We need to kick Connecticut down to F.
Yeah. Sorry, Connecticut. It is better than Mississippi. I'd say it's comparable with Alabama, but probably a tad worse.
I'd say C.
C, I agree.
I mean, Gray is carrying a lot of that as well.
Yes, without Gray, without Gray, Tennessee would be like D or F.
All right, so it looks
Probably
like
kick.
C.
Ooh, yeah, never mind. C's everything in the C looks perfect except for maybe Idaho. Maybe kick Idaho down to D.
Nah, I would say kick. I don't say North Dakota.
Maryland.
I think C's fine for now, and
No,
we'll see if we need to. Our next state is Texas, which I think
A.
is easily S.
I would
Easily.
say A. It would
I
be
think
S.
A. I think
I would.
A.
I would
Dude,
say
dude,
if
Listen to me. Listen to me.
dude,
Listen to me. Listen to me.
you listen
Listen to
to
me.
me.
Listen.
You listen to
What
me.
does Texas have that it isn't better somewhere else except for the Permian?
Dude,
antlers.
Texas has so much.
Appian, Cretaceous, I don't think exists anywhere else
Dude, let
in
me
the
let me tell you. Let me tell you. Listen,
Local.
this is my moment that I've been waiting for this entire podcast, okay? Texas has a surprisingly if Utah didn't exist, I think Texas has a surprisingly decent chance of winning this. That's a crazy thing to say, but let me explain myself, right? Where do I even start? Yeah, the Permian's great. We know about the Texas red beds, how amazing that is. Our Triassic is also really good. The Dawkins Group, equivalent to
Not
the
as good as the Chinle.
yes, but I'm just saying that you have the Chinley, you also have the Dockham. Like it competes with Arizona and probably does better in many ways. Then, when we're talking about the Cretaceous, Texas is excellent. I have some things up my sleeve for the dinosaurs. Okay, when it comes to dinosaurs, Texas is the uh, one of the only states besides like Wyoming that has Appalachian and Laramidian dinosaur populations represented. So out in West Texas in Big Bend, you have the Javelina and Aguja formation. So you have Campanian and Maastrichtian
Not as
dinosaurs,
good as Utah.
and they seem to be. Yeah, I'm not saying it's better than Utah. I'm
But
saying that
that's my point, is that it's not as good as so many, like everything it has isn't as good as
The
other.
problem is that Utah, South Dakota, Colorado, Montana, and Wyoming exist. If it
well,
wasn't for them, it would be at the top of the list.
Utah does not have Maastrichtian Southern Laramidian dinosaurs to the extent that Texas has. But then when you're going into the Appalachian, um,
Well, that's just creating like a new niche category. It's just and New Mexico is probably better than Texas is.
for
So what Texas has that I think is its strongest suit is the layers within the Cretaceous. Like you're going marine Aptian upwards, which I don't believe you have Aptian marine in any other state
plus
Probably
in at
not.
least the continental.
Maybe like New Mexico or well, Mancos is what, Turonian?
yeah,
Mancos is a mess.
The
It's like
Dakota.
Tasmanian through
I think
Turonian.
there may be some Albion or something in Wyoming. Wyoming has a ton of layers that you just forget about them all.
So Albion, there's a couple other states that might have, but not Aptian.
and Cole, you're saying the Dakota. The Dakota sandstone is dookie. It sucks. It produces very little.
I didn't say it was better than Dakota. I said you said it's the only place with Aptian. I said the Dakota also.
Dakota has like leaves and stuff though. The thing is, like, we also have the Arlington Archosaur site, which is a Cenomanian assemblage that has like Cenomanian Tyrannosaurs. I know Utah does too, but Arlington Archosaur site, magnificent Cenomanian Archosaur site. Like that is super super rare. And then right next to it, in terms of the vertebrate marine fossil assemblage, it's
Not as good as Kansas.
easy to
It's
argue that
more
Texas
extensive than Kansas.
The DFW
way,
area
way
is
better than
insane in
Kansas.
terms of fossils, but again, the problem is that South Dakota, Wyoming,
No,
Utah, Colorado exist.
no, that's not true because the ozone formation beats the Pierre Shale in terms of preservation for sure. Like the Pierre
That's
Shale,
great, but this isn't the best states for marine Cretaceous fossils.
best thing for marine Cretaceous fossils, as someone studying marine Cretaceous fossils and like used to Texas, is probably Texas. Like if I didn't live in
But that's
Texas,
what I'm saying. This list is not the list of best Cretaceous marine sites.
but here,
Also, it's still not as good as Kansas.
no, it's
There's
Or
really
even
good Paleozoic in Texas
There
too.
is. But again, you're comparing this to Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, and South Dakota.
Texas has a better marine Cretaceous than most of those states. It has in terms of
That's cool, but but the other states have a better everything else.
no, not really. They don't have better Permian. Their dinosaurs are as good. Texas compete. It doesn't
no, no,
No,
no,
no,
they're
no,
not.
no.
in terms
Absolutely.
of diversity. Yeah, in terms of diversity,
No, absolutely. Let
There's
me
no
like
Jurassic in Texas.
yeah, one, there's no Jurassic in Texas. Two, like every like new like every Texan dinosaur is like one or two specimens that are less than 20% complete.
I mean, really, the reason Texas has so many dinosaurs is because, again, the population of Texas is higher and people run into them so much.
No, most of them are found in West Texas in terms of dinosaurs, like Brewster County, and there's no one there. Here's
Yeah,
the
but a
thing.
lot of them are like there's that Hypsilophodont bone bed in Texas. Was it Convolusaurus or something? There's Tenontosaurs. There's Paluxysaurus. There's Acrocanthosaurus. But those are again, they're almost all in like the DFW area.
Luxosaurus is again like 5 bones.
Exactly, that's my point. It's five bones. There's another one that's like a hind leg or something. They're not that great. It's
There's also completely unrelated, but there's the Guadalupe Mountains, the Capitan Reef System, which is pretty cool. The
And,
largest reef
and
system ever.
in addition to the
Yeah, but if
dinosaurs,
that was the case, then Illinois would be so much higher because they have three giant Silurian reefs on the south side.
can I say something?
Yes.
Okay, so even like I can get lost in the sauce of dinosaurs all day, and I still will side that Texas has a better diversity of dinosaur ages than like Montana. However, moving
What?
on from dinosaurs, if you're to look at the Cenozoic stuff too, we have a lot of Lagerstatt of like in Big Bend, you have these Oligocene mammals that pop up. In Laredo, you have
The Oligocene record in Texas is worse than any of the this. It's worse than Wyoming. It's worse than Nebraska. It's worse than South Dakota.
better than Montana, that's for sure. And if we're gonna put
Montana has the Cabbage Patch Beds, Megalodon, a bunch of rhinos.
yeah, we also have that as Lagerstatt from the Eocene. We have that in the Oligocene as well, out in West Texas. And then our Pleistocene record is pretty good. I mean, it is everywhere, so I can't be talking about that, yada, yada, yada. But we have a lot of cats as well, like felids in Texas. Basically, I think Texas's strongest suit, like the thing that goes.
Wyoming has a hole in the ground full of cats.
What I think Texas has going for it is I am very confident in saying that there's probably no other state that has a greater diversity of ages that still produces
Wyoming does.
exceptional fossils. The only
Wyoming.
Utah
one that competes is probably Utah,
It's
but
Wyoming. Wyoming has the greatest diversity of fossil bearing layers of any state.
All right, so I think we have two A's and two S's, so we're gonna do a coin flip for Texas.
dude, I'm going to crap my pants if Texas goes into A. There's no way.
Top of A, absolute top of A, but it's A.
It is. Like I said, if those five states didn't exist, I would say Texas. I was originally going to say Texas would be the fifth S, but then Cole and the others convinced me it was going to be that South Dakota deserved that spot.
Okay, Cole,
Any day.
which heads or tails for Texas to be A?
Heads.
Heads for A. Okay, so tails for S.
Ah!
Eh!
Good. And that's fair. I think we can easily justify Texas replacing Montana's spot. Like Montana is great, but Texas just has more.
Insane. Insanity.
So our next state
S.
is Utah.
S. Top of
Yeah.
S.
Utah's probably going to win. Like, let's be real.
Montana more than it's not Montana. Wyoming more than Utah, but
No, Utah's by far not even close the best dinosaur state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean Jim Kirkland's
You have to weight
talk-
dinosaurs a little bit. You have to.
Like,
yeah, Jim Kirkland's
It's
talk
also
that he
got
gives-
a permanent. It's also got a Cambrian Lagerstatt.
yeah. Utah, I think, beats Wyoming just in general. Like, in terms of early Cretaceous stuff, too, Utah is the best. Like, it beats, I'm willing to admit, like, it beats Texas in terms of early Cretaceous. It beats Wyoming probably in terms of early Cretaceous. Like,
It beats Texas in the late Cretaceous too.
like, Utah's goated. And in terms of marine stuff, dude, oh my God, the Tropic Shale, the Manco Shale, dude, the marine stuff that can be found in Utah has not been well explored, but when it does get explored, it's like fireworks. It's insane. Like, it's really good. Utah is just, like, there's no, dude, for example, if we're going to talk about Utah, I had a follower DM me asking for ideas, like certain shark teeth he was finding. He said he finds so many dinosaur bones when he walks around in Utah that he doesn't even bother. He was sending me pictures of like articulated strings of vertebrae just in this capstone. And he's like, I'm honestly more interested in the shark teeth because they're slightly rarer. Like, Utah is so good that people are becoming jaded to articulated dinosaurs. That's wild. Like, Utah's, I don't think there's any beating it.
Yeah, I mean you have how far does the Cretaceous sequence go in Utah for dinosaurs?
Dude,
So
I think to the
you've
bottom.
got you've got the there's I mean so you got the Caparolits, you have the Wawii, which are companion both. There's that Tyrannosaur. That's that little Tyrannosauroid.
Moros.
Moros, yeah, you got Moros. What unit is that?
That's like from the. It's not the tropic, but it's one of the formations around the tropic shale.
Moros is Cenomanian. I
Yeah,
think Utah.
it's the same formation as like Nothronicus, right?
I'm not sure. I don't know what formation it is, but I think it's Cenomanian. I think Utah Raptor comes from the Valanginian, right?
Yep.
I think it's like it's like Barremian.
Maybe it could be early Cretaceous, regardless. Like
Yeah.
beyond Aptian, it's pretty bonkers. Utah's
Yeah,
my
yeah. You saw Jim Kirkland's speech on in
Yeah.
the that's just the early Cretaceous of Utah. You
yeah.
have the entire Cedar Mountain group.
The only
More
way Utah loses is it doesn't like to other states is it doesn't have a very good Lancian fauna, but like I don't care at
Well,
this
it
point.
also doesn't have as good of
It
a
does
mammal
have a
record.
Lancian fauna. There
Yeah,
is
but the
there is
Lampkin fauna is
Tyrannosaurus
ass.
CF or Tyrannosaurus indet from Utah.
Yeah, there's Torosaurus utahensis. There's some scrappy Allosaurus material, I think.
Yeah, and then there you also do get the Phosphoria formation, so you can get the helicoprine and stuff like
Oh,
that. Uh,
Moros is mustn't touch it.
yeah, you also get
But
your
no, it's
Jurassic stuff. You have the Kayenta and you have the Morrison in there. You have really it's really an expansive place. So
Here's the
I,
thing. Here's the thing. This is something that we have not talked about yet, but like one place where Texas, for example, can
that's
lose
mustn't touch it.
is that it's highly vegetated. Utah is not highly vegetated. It's
It
just
doesn't matter. Like
erosion everywhere. Like fossils come out of every hill. There's no root system keeping fossils in place. They just spill out. It's beautiful.
yeah, so I think we all agreed that is S. So S is full. Now for our next F
Yeah.
tier, Vermont.
Vermont, F.
So Vermont does have a Cambrian Lagerstatt. It has
Boo.
the Parker Quarry, which preserves soft
who?
tissue.
Who? Who
Vermont.
cares?
So it is pretty cool. Some of the stuff there. It is kind of reminiscent of the Burgess Shale, albeit not as
It's
good
a
as
lot earlier, which is kind of cool, but
yeah.
F. I
So
don't
so
think.
it's not barren, but it's mostly barren.
Here's the thing. If Vermont followed any other state besides Utah, it would like we would think it's cooler, but that's the toughest act to follow for a state like Vermont. Like, I'm sorry.
Ooh, wait. F tier is full.
Idaho should probably go up because it at least has some fossils.
Yep.
It's got the Tyctodonts, it's got some Pleistocene stuff, it's got some Carboniferous stuff, which at least makes it better than the rest of these that dolphin don't even have fossiliferous rock.
You said Iowa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Iowa can be D. That's fine. Mm,
So in the next state's Virginia.
I feel like it's
Virginia
C.
has.
It's a Triassic Lagerstätten, right?
Yep. I mean, it's not great. There are three reptiles known from it. There's a
Well, but one of
um
those reptiles is known for like hundreds of specimens.
yeah, there's a Rudiodon. There's a Archosauriform thing. Oh, I had this page up just a minute
There's
ago.
a big Rhysuchian kind of thing from there. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so. And
But
then
there's a
there's
Tanystrophiid.
Tanystrophiid. There's a complete Tanystrophiid too.
There's actually a couple. There's a Japanosaur, I think, from there too. Hyperinectar. Let me double check.
And there's
And then it's got. I found my very first fossil in Virginia. It was a tiger shark tooth in the Chesapeake.
No,
Uh,
Hyperinectar is from New Jersey. Where's the
and
one?
a partial whale, Miocene whale, came out of there. That
Hmm.
Miocene whale came out of that same like general spot as
Well,
well.
what's the one that was from Virginia?
should we call it C?
No, I'm thinking D, but like it's not nothing.
so D is filled as is F.
God. Okay. So we have to start moving some stuff
And I
up.
think C is too.
No way.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Pennsylvania, and Idaho should probably go up.
Tennessee,
I think having the same amount. This is putting Alaska and Tennessee in the same tier. Madness.
Just
Like,
leave it as is. You know, we were worried that we'd get not enough at the bottom, and now we're worried we have too much at the bottom.
Yeah,
well,
so
did we
Virginia,
expand F? Didn't we agree to expand F?
no, it's good. It's 9 for everything except S is 5. So with the next available is B, but I don't think I could consider Virginia B.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
You have some really nice marine stuff, some nice shark teeth, meg
I'd say
teeth. You have
C.
the Triassic stuff, but like
Maybe New York or South Carolina can be B, but
I would be comfortable
Ida,
with South Carolina being B.
I think New
Ida
York's
would
near
be
bottom.
B because you have like multiple.
If anything, I think we need a bigger bottom of the list. Like this tier system doesn't work if like you have Alaska and New York in the same tier.
But the thing is, these states that are like C and B aren't bad. They're just not horrible. They're not great.
Yes, they're bad. There are bad states. There are a lot of them. Most of them are bad.
But they're in D and F.
I agree. Yeah, I'm kind of with Russell on this one. Plus, here's the thing: since we're talking about it, like people can see the reasoning. You know, they don't have to just see it face value and be like, "What? You think Alaska and so are the same?" Like, clearly we don't because we're having this discussion. So, um,
I would say either New York or South Carolina or both could go to B.
do we
North Dakota and South Carolina on the same tier. Think about that for a minute.
do we like South Carolina more than Maryland?
So here's the thing, South Carolina is so abundant. Like you don't need to know
Abundant. There's
anything
just
about
so many
fossils.
people living there that they're always looking.
You can just find it on the beach. You don't even need to like know geology. You can just find one.
You
Uh,
do that in
I
North
think
Dakota too.
I think North Carolina is better.
You just happen to live on a ranch where there are no people.
I think North Carolina is better than South Carolina because it has better diversity. So if we're going to move up on the Carolinas, actually probably make it North Carolina. I would be very comfortable comparing North Carolina to Oregon, actually. That makes sense in my head. Like if Oregon's going to be B, North Carolina can be B as well. They're quite comparable. What do y'all think? Should we move up North Carolina to make room?
I would rather move up New York than North Carolina.
Let's move up New York as well. Maybe even North Carolina. I think New York over North Carolina is weird. So we can move up New York and North Carolina.
What do you guys think?
So how many were we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that makes sense. That frees up space in both B and C.
New York and North Carolina. So we're moving those up.
Yeah.
Okay. So then in B we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have room for one more in B and 2 in C.
Let's move some stuff into C from D, and then we can move stuff from F into
Wait,
D.
hold on. The last few we have are tend to be relatively fossiliferous, except for one.
So Virginia we're going to place in C.
Mm,
C
yeah.
or
C or D. I
so we'd
think
have to move something up for D.
I'd say C because at least it has that Triassic Lagerstätten.
yeah, let's do that. Virginia's in
All right.
C. Well, it's a low end C in my mind.
All right. Sounds good. So then the next state is Washington.
Washington, can I tell a story about Washington? This thing that I thought was originally in Hawaii is actually in Washington. So yes, we know Washington.
How did you get those mixed up?
You'll see. You'll see why. You'll see. It's actually really cool. It's like the coolest fossil ever. So, yes, we know Washington has whales. We know Washington has crab concretions. Washington is actually really good for whales. But there is something, and listener, I implore you, you should look this up. Look up the Blue Lake rhinoceros.
Oh yeah,
That is basically a bunch of climbers found this. They found a cavity in a rock that is very upside down rhino shaped. And it is
Did you
basically,
think there was a rhino in Hawaii?
here's why. Because it was a rhino that died in a lava flow and its body disintegrated, but the cavity.
How would a rhino get to Hawaii?
Hey, I heard lava. I heard lava. I thought Hawaii. So
There is volcanic stuff all over Idaho and
There are no mammals native to Hawaii.
I
a bunch
didn't.
of bats.
I don't know anything about Hawaii.
Except for
Good old
bats.
Texas. Leave me be. But yeah, that rhino-shaped hole in Washington, pretty baller.
So what? So I Washington, I think, has similar marine Cenozoic stuff to Oregon.
But no Mesozoic, so it loses
There,
points.
there's like a chunk of a dinosaur femur from Washington, and that's it. The Burke was trumpeting about that a few years back.
Hmm.
There's a nice plant site in eastern Washington. There's some Cenozoic stuff in the middle of the state, but it's still kind of. I should actually give me a sec. Let me look this up see if there's anything that we're missing. I got Ray Troll had a book where they go
Cruising
through.
the fossil coastline, yeah.
Yeah, that one. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that we're forgetting. I mean, there's some Desmostylians from Washington, but I think there's some
It's pretty chill.
That's
from
what's yeah,
Oregon too.
like Oregon and California when I think of those. Here, can you scroll up super fast so we
Yeah,
can try and get
I
it?
Yeah,
think it's going
so
to be
the
about
only other red panda in the United States comes from Washington, I think.
No way.
I'm
Uh,
getting D vibes on it.
yeah,
No, with the amount of amazing whales that come out of it, you cannot compare it to something
but
like
like
the
Oregon does that, but better, I think.
what? Whales better in
Yeah.
Oregon and Washington? Really?
Well, a lot of it's Imlong collecting stuff and sending it to the Smithsonian, but
I think Washington has a better Cenozoic marine mammal record than Oregon.
yeah, I don't see anything on Ray Troll's map. That's like,
I think it's a low end B. Washington's a low end B in my
I
mind.
would not put it in B at all.
Yeah. No, see.
All right, high end C. It's probably the highest C, low key, but yeah.
Even then, I don't think it beats South Carolina or
Oh
Pennsylvania.
yeah, true. Never mind. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong row.
Do you guys think? Do you guys
Yeah,
think
E.
C or
It's
lower?
it's comparable to like South to like Tennessee in my mind, so C is a good spot for it.
yeah, so Stone Rose is the plant site.
Yeah, let's do C.
What do you guys think?
So he's fine.
All right, so now we have West Virginia.
I'd say that's a B. West Virginia has it's got a pretty good Carboniferous record. There's tons of Carboniferous fossils everywhere. There's one of the few Mississippian vertebrate Lagerstätten in the world basically. The Greer fossil quarry is from there. There's just tons of bits and bobs of Carboniferous going to the Devonian stuff come out of there. You do
Mhm.
get more of the older stuff cropping out on either of the far sides. They get a little bit into the Permian. They have like the other half of the Dunkard Basin that all the Permian stuff in Ohio comes from. But all the good stuff comes from the Ohio side. That's more due to prospecting than anything.
Hmm. I didn't know West Virginia had anything. I think on our original ranking, we put it at like in the 40s.
Oh yeah, like let me get a picture of Greer Paton up. So there's a quarry in West Virginia not too far from uh this is a specimen that used to be at the Cleveland Museum. I don't know if it's still there. And this is from the Mississippian, and there is like normally nothing from the Mississippian. And I mean
Well,
this site's produced lungfish, it's produced I think it's produced I want to say it's produced Crassidorinus. I'm not sure.
that thing's crazy.
Yeah, these actually I think there's some research that they apparently had internal gills too. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, West
Um,
Virginia. What a surprise.
but like there's tons of sloth fossils from West Virginia. They get some other good sites. I'm trying to think that one of the big problems with West Virginia is it's like Arkansas and Kentucky in that there's very few like active paleontology research programs going on there.
Yeah.
So the issue is more of if even if someone finds something, there's no museum for anyone to take it to get like accessioned and studied.
Hmm.
The Geological Survey has some good stuff, but even that is, they're they're resource limited and they aren't able to like put feelers out the way like a place in like Nebraska or Texas can.
Yeah.
Mhm. So
Okay.
with West Virginia, then you're thinking B on that?
Yeah,
Probably the lowest B though. Like,
lowest B.
yeah.
All right, so I think that's the last.
It's debatable if like it would be it or Pennsylvania. But I mean, West Virginia has probably more fossils compared to Pennsylvania, even though Pennsylvania has a Red Hill, which is a little bit better quality.
Hmm. So that leaves us with Wisconsin next.
Ass tier. Let me double check this, but
Did you just
um,
did you just say ass tier? That's such a good saying.
so if I'm recalling this right, and I got the geologic map, so about three-fourths of Wisconsin is like actually no, hold on. So most of Wisconsin is either Cambrian, Precambrian, or Ordovician. There is supposedly a Silurian Lagerstätten, the Waukesha biota, known from the state. It's very, very undescribed. It has some soft tissues. Like the most common thing the biota has is this thing called the butterfly animal. I don't even know if it's the most common,
If we're
but
gonna,
it's
we
a
need
weird looking invertebrate smudge thing that no one knows what the heck it is.
if we're gonna make room in F, I think we need to move up either Connecticut or Louisiana into D. But then we need to make room in D, which means we need to move something up, which
Yeah,
is messed up.
we
Um,
have to do a trail here because I think all of these are full.
so we need to get
Think-
something from B into A.
Yes.
So the thing that should go into A from
North
B
Dakota.
or Nebraska.
North Dakota or Oklahoma. I would almost say Oklahoma. Like North Dakota has really good fossils, but Oklahoma just has a greater variety of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sam Noble sold me in Oklahoma.
All right, Oklahoma's an A. Holy moly, what a comeback! And then okay, something from C into B now.
Idaho, because they got Eryctodromius, they have Hagerman, they have Helicoprion. I think that they have others. Let me check.
Yeah, I think Idaho as well. We can't move South Carolina up because North Carolina wins. Let's be real. New Jersey, sorry, New Jersey, I hate you. So I think, I think,
Illinois?
yeah,
I'm thinking Illinois,
or Illinois or Maryland. Low-key. No, Maryland should
not
be
Maryland.
Idaho or Illinois. One of the two. I'm gonna say Idaho. Idaho's better.
I'd
Yeah,
rather Illinois.
I hate.
because Illinois, Idaho's not being carried by Mason Creek.
Sorry. Yeah.
You could maybe argue for Pennsylvania, but
Okay. So
I
we
keep feeling like somehow I'm underselling Pennsylvania. I just don't know why.
so okay. We're making space in C by putting Idaho up into B, which means we need to move something from D into C to take Idaho's spot from C. So something to go in C. The best of the D tier is probably Georgia.
Probably Indiana, because Indiana has the Crawfordsville, not Crawfordsville, but the Good Crinoid layer has the Mecha Quarry. It's got the Pipe Creek Sinkhole. It's got tons. Actually, geez, I don't know. It's also got tons of like Pleistocene stuff, but
True, it does have a lot of Pleistocene stuff. And Georgia is pretty limited. Like the fossils that come out of Georgia are beautiful and spectacular, but they come from like one age. So,
yeah.
um,
I'm
in,
fine with Indiana.
in C, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, okay, this is the reality we're in now. So Indiana's in C. Holy moly! And now what's the best F? It's either Louisiana or Connecticut.
Connecticut, one of the two.
I would say Connecticut's slightly more unique.
Connecticut has Dinosaur State Park. It at least has something that like a fossil site good enough that somebody built a visitor center on top of it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And that means in F we're putting Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yeah, get out of here. Okay,
So
that
our
means
last one is Wyoming.
S.
Wyoming is S. I think it beats Montana because it has what Montana has, but just more. It has what Montana has, but it has more ages. It has a greater variety of ages, which
So my friend Russell Hawley often liked to say that Wyoming has fossils from every period in the Phanerozoic except for the Silurian. It's got Devonian, has Beartooth Butte, which we have Jacalopterus from, remains of Jacalopterus, as well as placoderms and other things. There's Frannian sites that produce some Sarcopterygian material. There's the Popoaget, which no, it's not as good as the Dockham or the Chinley, but it just kind of adds to the overall diversity of stuff that's there. There is in the Alcova group, they get there's some ichthyosaurs, there's a nothosaur from the Alcova group. They have the
Yeah,
Sundance Glacier.
Corosaurus,
Yeah,
and
Corasaurus.
then there's Ophthalmosaurus and there's a pliosaur.
Yeah, from Sundance,
Yeah,
Megalodon.
yeah. What's the name of it?
There's Tate Nectes,
Um,
this which is this
Mega.
pancake
No, it's not Megacephalosaurus. It's
Megalosaurus.
Megalanosaurus. That's it. That's it.
So they have Ophthalmosaurus, they have Megalosaurus, they have this
None of
like
these are very good, by the way.
well, Tate Nectes is known for a complete skeleton. It's this manta ray looking plesiosaur thing. They have the Morrison. They have probably some of the best Morrison fossils anywhere.
Second best Morrison.
They have the Cloverleaf, and the Cloverleaf does produce stuff. There's a layer above the Cloverleaf that's apparently like it's produced this one ankylosaurus. I don't remember which ankylosaur specifically. It's one of the nodosaurs. Some of the marine layers there have produced like plesiosaurs and stuff. You get into the Lance. The Lance is very productive. In southern Wyoming, there's an earlier age site, which I don't know if it's like Campanian or Turonian that's starting to produce stuff now. It's got the western half of the White River Group, and that is very, very productive. It's got some Miocene stuff. It's got some good Pliocene stuff. It has Natural Trap Cave, which is one of the best sites for the American cheetah. Um, some of the really early stuff goes down into like the Cambrian and stuff. If you go over to the northwest part of the state, you have the exposure to the Phosphoria. You get Carboniferous and Permian sharks. That's stuff that's come out on that recently. The northwest part of the state is actually surprisingly fossil rich. The problem is that no one likes to collect there because bears. So like there's reports of like a plesiosaur skeleton from Yellowstone that no one wants that people are that they collected, but people are hesitant to prospect there because grizzly bears and
Coward.
Cowards, yeah, dude, get me up there.
Absolute cowards.
but like they
If
found but like
Fiorillo and Druckenmiller can deal with polar bears, then you can deal with
so the like there's
with
is it
grizzlies.
like the Meteetse Formation produces lots of plants. If you go to the Bighorn Basin, the Bighorn Basin has in addition to really good Morrison, I mean, the Cloverleaf isn't good anywhere, but okay Cloverleaf. The Sundance, but it also has really, really good Eocene record of terrestrial mammals, one of the best across the Paleocene, Eocene climatic maximum. You go
Got
south of
chug,
there. What?
chug water, Triassic.
Yeah, you have the chug
Good.
water.
It's not good. There's a couple terrestrial fossils from
Yeah.
there.
Well, it's getting better. There's a guy
There's
out
a marine tongue in there. That Corasaurus nothosaur is also from um, a chug water marine
yeah.
tongue.
But you go south of that into like you get into the Uinta, you get a lot of these like Middle Eocene mammals. You go further south, you get into Fossil Butte, you get so the lakes that Fossil Butte's a part of stretch across Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah, but Wyoming has the best of it because it had like the shallowest, most isolated stuff where all these fossils get preserved. I'm probably forgetting more things. There's so much there you just forget what's even there.
Yeah, Wyoming is like LeBron James, and Utah is Michael Jordan. Like they're just there's no denying that they are the best of the best. I think
Yeah.
Wyoming is
I'm,
S.
I'm not comfortable taking Montana at an S. Let's just make it S6.
Well, here's the thing. Like
I
what?
would be fine if you went to demote
Egg
Colorado.
Mountain. Have you ever heard of Egg Mountain, Jared?
Yeah,
I didn't say anything. I was gonna say
I
I would say demote Colorado just
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm
No,
leaning.
no, Colorado. Come on.
I would have
Colorado.
demoted Texas, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but we lost that. We lost 2 coin flips.
Texas is also probably outside of Wyoming and Utah just the most diverse state in
Yeah,
terms of
but everything,
stuff.
most of it sucks.
No,
The dinosaurs are not very good.
no, we have
We have a
Lagerstrasse.
species. We
Every
have a species of
in
Tyrannosaurus
Wyoming,
with
people
partial
build houses
skeleton.
out of dinosaur
Are you
bones.
kidding me? Look at you. You just got back from South Dakota.
You have what in South Dakota?
You just got back from South Dakota.
I did get back from South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you trying to compare the stuff in Big Bend to the stuff in South Dakota?
yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I would be fine demoting Colorado to A. As much as that sucks, A is still very respectable.
No, just leave it 6.
I'm fine with leaving it six.
It's still constrained. It just
No, we committed to 5 and S.
No,
We're
we
not gonna
didn't.
make an exception.
No, we
Okay,
did.
Colorado.
F should be twice the size that it is, and
who
then D should be the same size.
who wins between Montana and Colorado? Because I think they're quite comparable. They have the same.
Montana, I would
I
think.
think Montana wins because Montana not only does it have like more extensive Cretaceous stuff, it's got Bear Gulch and it's got better Cenozoic material. I think Colorado might have better like marine stuff somewhat, but
No, Montana has things like the Bear Paw Formation, and that will outdo Colorado's Cretaceous Marine. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they both have excellent Morrison. Sorry, not Montana. Sorry, my bad.
Colorado's got Paleocene.
it's got Coral Bluffs. That's one site.
Where's that at?
That's right outside Denver.
Okay.
It's the one that Tyler. Is that the one that Tyler Leeson found?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Denver is one of a handful of cities that they regularly find fossils within the city limits. Like someone has actually found Tyrannosaurus Rex fossils
Yeah.
with a construction project
Yeah.
within the city
Like
limits.
Denver and Dallas are probably the two best fossil bearing cities in the U.S.
Yeah.
And
The
also Los
DFW
Angeles.
airport's wild because like on the eastern side of the airport you have marine Cretaceous fossils, including like marine reptiles. On the western side of the DFW airport you have dinosaur bearing rocks with
Yeah,
like there's like Protohadros known from there.
yeah, it's crazy. It's
I think Colorado and A with Kansas makes sense.
Yeah.
Morrison.
Colorado.
Morrison. It's ground zero for the Bone Wars.
If Colorado's air,
Wyoming is ground zero for the bone
Colorado
wars.
has more holotype specimens. Okay. Top 15 most famous dinosaurs. Colorado has more of them than any other state. The holotypes are from there.
But
yeah,
most of the types of those things are ass because they're
dude.
bone wars specimens.
Here's the thing. The first dinosaurs were found on the East Coast. Is that going to, skew the argument? Like,
Yeah, but none of those are famous dinosaurs.
yeah. If Colorado,
Stegosaurus,
if Colorado,
Allosaurus,
Which
Diplodocus,
also occur in Wyoming.
Brachiosaurus.
if Colorado's going to be an A, it wins A for sure. I
Yeah.
low key think Colorado's a. It's really hard to choose between Colorado and Montana. I don't know.
I would say it'd either be Colorado or Texas.
It should be Texas, but like we lost the coin toss, so
But we can all kind of agree it's Colorado and something else, which kind of implies that Colorado drew the short straw.
Yeah. If we can all agree it's Colorado versus something else, then it's Colorado.
So a couple of things Colorado does have that's notable. It has some of the oldest vertebrate material in North America, but I think that's gotten paste. Like there's older stuff that's been found, I think.
Yeah, in Australia.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
there's actually
The
some
Harding Sandstone.
PT boundary stuff there, which there's not that much of that elsewhere.
there it is. It's in Colorado Springs. I grew it right next to it.
The Harding Sandstone is interesting. I mean, it's not going to be like magnificent, spectacular fossils, but they are significant nonetheless. Mhm.
I mean, in terms of quality, it always feels like Colorado is kind of like third after Utah and Wyoming when it comes to like Morrison stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, like they have that really nice Stegosaurus. They have India Woods Allosaurus, but like,
Amphicelius.
but you consistently get
Yeah, I
better
know,
stuff
that's
out
not.
of like
But
Utah and Wyoming.
Brachiosaurus. The for the paleontological area, the best microvertebrate site from the entire Jurassic period.
I mean, if you want to be fair, that's literally on the boundary between Colorado and Utah.
Not really. It's about 30 miles into Colorado, 30, 40 miles.
I think it's still Colorado.
If
I guess the question is too, like dinosaur national monuments on the Utah side as well, except for
Most of it's actually in Colorado, but the bone core is in Utah.
yeah, the bone core is in Utah, but the Jimadensai holotype is from Colorado, I think.
It's from Utah.
if you're looking,
There's one of us from the Colorado side.
if you're looking,
A lot of the canyon that a lot of the Green River Canyon is Colorado.
if
Right, but I remember there's like one like an Allosaur or something that's from the Colorado side.
All right, Jared.
I think discussing the Mesozoic of Colorado and Montana is going to end up in a draw. And so we have to look outside of the Mesozoic. And outside of the Mesozoic, Montana beats Colorado just barely. I know Colorado has the fluorescent fossil beds, but almost nothing beats
Unless you like bugs, there's one opossum from Fluorescent and like a Brontotherian jaw. There's some more opossums, but it's the record of anything that's not a leaf or an insect from Fluorescent is not great.
Yeah, I think that like fluorescent does not compare to Bear Gulch, like
Yeah,
That's where Montana gets its edge over Colorado.
I
Yeah.
agree. So Colorado, nay.
I put up a good fight.
Yeah, you did.
Lost
The other
every
thing too
battle.
is Colorado doesn't have any Campanian, which most of the rest of these do in some form or another.
Right, and then our Wyoming we agreed is S. So that means now we have to sort through our lowest.
No, I think that's an exercise in futility.
I think
It's
it is too, and we're going to end up arguing over whether Wyoming or Utah is better for like 5 hours.
better. Yeah, okay,
It's
okay,
going to be a
okay.
draw.
Oh, it's
I think
Utah.
it's going to be a draw either way.
I vote Utah. I think Utah,
Wyoming.
personally. Utah is just goaded.
I think Utah. Wait, so we're gonna rank the S tiers first? I was thinking the F tiers first, and then
Well, we're not ranking the F tier. That's impossible.
They almost all have nothing. Like probably the best of the
Yeah,
F
rank
tiers
these
is going to be
zeros. Like,
the best of the F tiers is going to be either Minnesota or Wisconsin. Wisconsin because it has the Waukesha biota, or Minnesota because it has a few scrappy Cretaceous dinosaurs.
I think Louisiana is the best of the F tier personally, just because of how.
Actually, hang on. Where's that one? There's one of the two has a Devonian Lagerstätten that produces placoderms and stuff. I don't remember if it's Minnesota or I think it's Wisconsin.
Dude, it sounds so boring to rank the Fs because they're all so bad. I cannot lie.
all right. So let's rank the S tiers then.
Utah number 1, Wyoming number 2, South Dakota number 3, Montana number 4, Texas number 5.
I
Yeah,
would I would have Utah at 1. I would probably have I don't know
Wyoming.
either Wyoming or South Dakota at 2.
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah, I think Wyoming and
But
Utah.
like the gap between Utah, but after Utah and Wyoming, the gap between those two and the next one is pretty big.
Um,
Honestly, if you had an S plus tier for just Utah and Wyoming and then everything else, that, you know.
Well, I mean,
Probably go
we
South
abandoned
Dakota.
using these as actual tiers a while ago, and these are
I'm
just
just saying, if we're using the old, like how, like Cole's saying, people would use the tier definition, it would be those two and then a pretty significant gap between them in South Dakota, Montana, and Texas.
I
Mhm.
think where Texas has a disadvantage compared to these other states, there are two places I would concede. One, our Jurassic record,
Is
hideous.
that
Okay. Two, most of Texas is covered in vegetation, so we don't have these rolling badlands unless you go out west. So most of our paleontology is restricted to waterways, which very productive waterways, but you don't get the same badlands that you get in like the White River Badlands, for example, unless you're
I do think the Paleozoic record of Texas is probably better than any of these other five.
the
Like,
Paleozoic.
there's Bear Gulch, but like
in South Dakota.
what Paleozoic?
Paleozoic, excuse me.
So
I'm not even sure if there's even. Let me check.
The Jacksboro site has an incredible diversity of invertebrates.
And the Lake Brownwood Spillway is a beautiful Lagerstadt. Like I don't remember the age. I think it's Mississippian, maybe. I'm not sure, but beautiful Lagerstadt as well.
But I would say out of these three, I would go South Dakota next after Wyoming.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't even think South Dakota has Paleozoic. I think it jumps pretty big from the Cretaceous.
I
Or
think
not Paleozoic, or Paleocene. Or
uh,
does it? I think maybe it has some of the really it has like the Fort Union stuff. Yeah, it has the Fort Union, I think.
I think South Dakota beats Texas in the terrestrial Mesozoic for sure. In the marine Mesozoic, I don't think it beats Texas. And in the
South Dakota has the better Cenozoic.
what'd you say?
Better Cenozoic.
Including that Loretto Eocene Lagerstadt.
Yeah. Oh, South Dakota is the late Eocene Oligocene fossil site. I mean, you're looking at order of magnitude difference compared to what Texas has. And this is coming from an Oligocene nerd.
And we both have our own mammoth sites, like our famous mammoth deathbeds.
I would honestly say, from what I've seen, the Waco site, the South Dakota one's a little better. The Texas one is nice because it has homotherium associated with it, which South Dakota doesn't have. But the quality of the mammoth remains in the mammoth site, I think, is just better.
Yeah.
So for the second to last, Montana or Texas?
Is Montana's what does Montana's Paleozoic record look like? I don't know much.
That's
Besides Bear,
time you think of that, but
because like half of what makes I wouldn't say half, yeah, probably half of what makes Texas so good is its Paleozoic. But its Triassic is also magnificent. I don't know if Montana has
Texas
it.
has a really good Carboniferous as well as Permian.
Yeah, I
Like
think
they don't
Texas
like
is
it's
more
not just the
diverse.
Texas red beds. They have good Carboniferous stuff, good a lot of good marine Permian.
I would put Texas before Montana based on its diversity and that it does a lot of those things very well. Like it's not just scrappy Permian, it's not just scrappy Triassic. It does those really well.
Yeah, I really it really looks like Bear Gulch is like the one Paleozoic thing that happens in Montana. And what's really weird is it makes me wonder how the heck did Grogan and Lund even find Bear Gulch in the first place? If there's like that limited amount of quality fossils from Montana, like before Bear Gulch was discovered.
This is a good list. I think it's quite robust. Can we at least say which state we think is the worst? Like, come on, we have to come up with it. Like
The
the
wor
we have
the worst would be Rhode Island.
no. I think the
Rhode
worst.
Island actually has potentially fossiliferous layers. Some of these others don't.
I think
Hawaii.
low key.
Hawaii, I'd say is disqualified just because it's volcanic.
Well,
I
but
mean,
like that's what makes it the perfect contender for the worst.
well, actually, I was going to say, which one was it? It was the one that we looked at the geologic map. Was it
New
the one where it's all
Hampshire.
metamorphosed? I was going to say that one, like
I think
Vermont.
New Hampshire. Yeah, because Hawaii, you can still find you can still go fossil hunting in Hawaii. You'll just have to be on a beach looking for Pleistocene stuff. New Hampshire, I don't even think has that.
Right. Either that or Delaware, because Delaware is like all. Well, Delaware has a dinosaur fossil, which I think saves it from being in the same category as Vermont.
Delaware has some Cretaceous stuff for sure. So I
But it's
think
like this little tip at the tip of the state.
yeah,
New
Ranking,
Hampshire
ranking,
dead last.
I
yeah,
think
No,
last
it was Vermont was dead last. Or wait, hang on.
Vermont has the Lagerstadt.
Oh, then yeah, New Hampshire. Jeez, my bad. I think
um, ranking the A's might be fun.
That would be so difficult.
I
yeah,
don't think so. I don't think so. Easy.
Colorado,
Colorado #1,
yeah,
Kansas #2, then New Mexico.
yeah.
then Arizona, then California, then
Then
Florida, then Nevada. Well, no, Nevada beats Florida. Yeah.
and Ohio last. Yeah,
Probably
that
get
makes
behind
sense.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to rearrange them, but yeah, I can get behind that.
Sure.
Cool.
Oh,
Dude,
well,
fun, and we got through it in a surprisingly short amount of time.
Because
Three,
half the states were terrible.
Yeah.
3.5.
And then the other half are extremely good.
Hopefully, if you live in New Hampshire, you don't hate us right now, and if you do, we don't care because we hate you. I'm just kidding, but
Come to Nevada. I encourage you to do so.
yeah. We got through a lot. I think a lot of people are going to be very surprised that their state is as good as it is when they watch this because
Except for New Hampshire.
Because we had an
Well,
arbitrary
When I
amount.
lived in Massachusetts, I did not think that there's like anything for me to find outside of megalodon teeth, which I couldn't collect because it was on Native American reservation land. So I thought that there's like nothing. And then only after I moved to Arizona did I find out about this stuff. So there is hope, no matter what state you're in, except maybe New Hampshire, to
you
find
you'll have
something.
you have no idea how many comments I get of like me fossil hunting in Texas, right? But it's understated that I'm in Texas. I don't say it outright. And then I get comments of like, dude, I need to get out of Texas so I can do stuff like this. There's nothing here.
And to be fair, if you are from New Hampshire, it's New England. If
It's
you
New
drive
England,
for like
Jesus.
2 hours, you're in, New York
Yeah.
or Massachusetts or Connecticut.
And that's the thing too, like in Arizona, for example, like 2.5 hour drives to a fossil site, that's pretty common. In Massachusetts, 2.5 hours can get you to many different sites. So it's basically the same deal as out west as far as the spread of things.
Mm,
Just you're in more condensed areas.
true.
Yeah, so if you guys have watched through the end, I know that you're a paleo nerd, so please don't forget to like, comment, and let us know if you agree or disagree and why you disagree or agree with our picks for the best and the worst fossil-bearing states. And don't forget to follow us, on Elasmocast. Subscribe so you can find more, not even just shark anymore, but paleontology-related content.
Good stuff.